not be better. A bit of a wind coming up, but no threat of rain. Ready to kick it off is Todd Thompson. He's a junior. He's the punter for the Sooners in the kickoff man. He'll be kicking to the closed end of the stadium with the wind at his back. Standing on start, rocking on going. Here it is, down to Randall Hale as he takes it back across the 10-yard line into the 20. A bit of open field for the moment. He's out to the 31-yard line. So here come the Miami Hurricanes on offense. Steve Walsh, number 4. Penalty marker is down first. We'll see what that is. Let's go to lineup. Steve Walsh first. He is the quarterback, a 20-year-old sophomore. Warren Williams, an outstanding running back, averaging 5 yards a carry. Melvin Bratton is the fullback. An excellent big play man. Melvin Bratton has scored 32 touchdowns this season. Brian Blades, a very fast wide receiver. He's caught 29, 5 for touchdowns. There's the man to watch deep. Michael Irvin, 6 touchdown receptions. He holds all the Miami receiving records. The tight end is primarily a blocker, Alfredo Roberts. 1st and 10 now for Miami. It was a face mask penalty, ball position at the 34 as Walsh steps in, and he's going to have to run it. They don't like him to. Running him down very well is Troy Johnson, very fast defensive end. Johnson, the number 2 tackler for the Sooners. The offensive line, there's been some changes there because of injury and suspension. Damon Bruce starts at left tackle. The Nona left tackle, a very good one. Patchen is out with a knee. Mike Sullivan from Chicago, a freshman, is the left guard. The center, Rod Holder, also a Chicagoan. He's a sophomore. Right guard, Bobby Garcia. He's moved in to start there because Scott Probin has moved from right guard to right tackle. Probin coming in for one of the players who was suspended for drug testing, John O'Neill. Gain of only a yard on the scramble by Walsh, and now he's ready to put it up deep. Out pattern goes to Alfredo Roberts, the little-used tight end. That's only the 14th ball he's caught all season. Richard Dillon knocked him out of bounds, but see where they position the ball. It's going to be just short, it appears, Trump, of a first down. Reed, the outside left end or linebacker, whichever you prefer. He's a stand-up player. Curtis Williams, the left tackle. Dante Williams, a force at nose tackle, our most important player in this game. Starting at right tackle is Scott Evans. Darren Kirkpatrick, the starter, out with a knee injury. Roy Johnson, you just saw him. He's at right end. Dante Jones, one of the inside backers, consensus All-American player. Richard Dillon might be the fastest linebacker for the Sooners, gets the least publicity. Derek White at right cornerback, and Lonnie Finch, 2 very fast defensive backs. The safeties, a pair of outstanding players, David Vickers and Ricky Dixon. Dixon, a consensus All-American. It's a first down with the ball is spotted out to the 45-yard line. Handoff goes to Warren Williams, and he takes it out close to the 49-yard line. Dante Jones, Big 8 Defensive Player of the Year, makes the stop for the Sooners.
On a games of this magnitude, both coaches want to get their players' feet on the ground quickly. They've been hitting guys in the same color helmet now for about 6 weeks. They're very tired of seeing their own players as opponents. And what you generally see teams in games like this do is go what their bread and butter plays to start with. Miami to pass.
Miami deploys 2 wide receivers to the right. Blades and Irvin, they check off. They'll change as much as 80% of the time at the line of scrimmage. Out pattern by Walsh, makes the connection to Michael Irvin, who is knocked down at the 45-yard line of the Sooners. But it's very close to a first down on 2nd and 6. Looks like he might have it.
On your point about the audibles, I don't think there's a quarterback in the country, high school, college, or professional, that calls more audibles. This is an audible taking advantage of a defensive alignment. This is a move the chains offense. They'll throw the ball underneath, and with their great skill position people, Blades and Irvin at the outside, hopefully they break a tackle, turn a 5-yard catch into a 20-yard gain.
That time it was good for the first down to the 44-yard line of the Sooners. Miami with the opening drive. Here's the handoff to Williams, a 5-yard carry runner. But the Sooners stuff him. Dante Jones shot the gap. Dante Williams, the nose tackle, was also on the stop. Dante Jones, not a big linebacker, 6'1", 225 pounds, but like all the Sooners on this side of the ball, they fly. Great speed on this team. The Miami, in upsetting Oklahoma the last 2 times they played in the 86 and 85 seasons, was victimized with the Sooners by the Miami passing game. Right now, the Miami Hurricanes come out with a 2nd down and 9 plays. Over the middle, Alfredo Roberts had it and lost it. They ruled it an incomplete pass.
This defense of Oklahoma, outstanding. They led in total defense, scoring defense against some very stout teams like Nebraska for one. That's the big key for Miami tonight with their young quarterback. Identifying that defense, audibling at the line of scrimmage, trying to take advantage of its weakness.
Speed on the left flank now. Trump as they put Brett Perriman, their fastest player out there. Walsh, though, play fake and is ready to loop it downfield, and he goes to Irvin and makes the reception. It's a 1st down for the Hurricanes as they move the ball down to the 30-yard line of Oklahoma. And McMichael, who's a defensive back, covered, but Michael Irvin, a cocksure player who said during the week he tells defensive backs, "Don't worry, son, I beat everybody when he beats a DB."
That's a 13-yard completion, and one of the things Miami really likes to do is run crossing patterns so that these kids can catch the ball running. They have outstanding speed. McMichael in there almost as a 5th defensive back, just couldn't keep up with Irvin's foot speed.
So Irvin's been a factor early as the Hurricanes are on the drive. 1st down, and here's Walsh dropping to throw, looping it down towards the end zone. There's speed going for the ball. It is caught by Melvin Bratton out of the backfield, but there's a penalty marker down at the line of scrimmage.
And that's against Oklahoma. 12 men on the field. A touchdown counts. Oklahoma was trying to go with a 6 defensive back set. One of the defensive linemen did not get off the field.
So the Hurricanes, the underdog, playing without their starting offensive tackles, make it happen fast after the opening kickoff. Down the field they go, and finally a 30-yard touchdown throw to Melvin Bratton, a very fast 225-pound fullback who's the #1 career touchdown scorer for Miami. That was his 33rd career TD.
Right from behind the defense, if this offense looks like a pro-style offense, it was patterned after the Miami Dolphins. Backs out of the backfield. Bratton, an excellent receiver. Nice throw by Walsh, and that kid's showing no jitters whatsoever when he's playing for the national championship.
Not at all. He hit 4 of 5 in that drive for 59 yards and a touchdown. And now the extra point is hit up and good by Greg Cox. Melvin Bratton with the #1 finger up, but there's a ways to go indeed. 11:32 to play in the first quarter.
Defensive lineman, he tries to get off the field, but here's Bratton. He's tied up with a guy on the inside. He just runs a streak down the sideline. Walsh showing no jitters whatsoever in his first national championship game. Puts this ball absolutely on the money. Steps over that front foot, has great confidence in his own ability to complete the pass, and Miami on the board first.
Walsh with his 20th touchdown passer this season. He's thrown only 7 interceptions, 59% passer, but far better than that in that opening drive. Miami going 65 yards in 8 plays after the opening kickoff, and now Edgar Bennis is ready to kick it off for the Hurricanes. As Oklahoma deploys great speed back to return it, Patrick Collins, a senior running back, and the fastest Sooner. Back with him is Anthony Stafford. Collins, number 33, Stafford to the left, number 25. 11:32 to go, first quarter. And the Hurricanes have taken a 7-0 lead. Miami under Jimmy Johnson is 40-8 in his 4 years here, but 0-3 in bowl games, and of course the bitter memory of last year's Fiesta Bowl, when the Hurricanes turned it over 7 times at Tempe, Arizona, and were upset for the national championship by Penn State. Miami coming in with an 11-0 mark this year, the same as the Sooners. Bennis hits it very high, and here comes Stafford, the sprinter from St. Louis. Special teams hit is a beauty at the 18-yard line. Coming down to lead the way was Michael Johnson, number 27. Here now is the young quarterback for the Oklahoma Sooners, Charles Thompson, a redshirt freshman from Lawton, Oklahoma. Scored 10 touchdowns this year. Lydell Carr is back in to start at fullback. Missed 3 games with a knee injury. Stafford, one of the runners in the wishbone. Patrick Collins is the other. They all average over 6 yards a carry. Cabinet's the split end. All-American Keith Jackson's at tight end. We'll see if the Miami defense can shut down the huge offensive blocking scheme. Here's the pitch back. Collins running with the ball and very well as he crosses the 25-yard line. And Patrick Collins is out to the 27-yard line. Oklahoma, if you ain't got size, you ain't got nothing up front. They have an offensive line that might average 290 pounds. They say 280. John Phillips told me he thinks it's closer to 300. Hudson, an All-American guard at the left side. Latham has done an outstanding job at center. Anthony Phillips, brother of John Phillips, at right guard. And the biggest Sooner, Greg Johnson, is at right tackle. Huge, and they all can run. Sooners in a rare position early in this game. They're behind. Normally they go wire to wire. Handoff, the fullback. First back takes it, and Lydell Carr is ahead for a Sooner first down out to the 36-yard line. Looks Trump early like we might have a track meet.
And it's a very important yardage pickup as you look at the Miami defense here. I'll make my point. You go ahead and introduce the defense, Don.
Stubbs, a consensus All-American. Derwin Jones, a 275-pound tackle. Leading sacker is Greg Mark. Bill Hawkins, a big, rangy defensive end. Linebackers, small but very fast for the Miami Hurricanes. We'll get to them in a minute. As right now, it is first down and 10 for Oklahoma. Sooners 36-yard line. Give to the fullback. Bang goes Lydell Carr right into the middle linebacker, Bernard Clark, who is starting for the suspended George Myra Jr.
This wishbone offense starts with that fullback dive. The last time these two teams met, the fullback had 6 carries, 6 yards. Excellent job by Clark. He's right there, standing there in the middle. That's where George Myra, Bernard Clark, is right there where George Myra Jr. would be.
Randy Shannon and Rod Carter, the other two backers for Miami. Second down and 8. Running in very well across the 45-yard line out to the 47. For the Oklahoma Sooners, Patrick Collins. There's Shannon, a 215-pound linebacker. Bernard Tiger Clark in the middle for George Myra Jr. Rod Carter's a destroyer at the weak linebacker position. Big-time hitter Bubba McDowell has blocked 8 punts in his career. Tolbert Bain is the other cornerback. They're all big, strong, run and hit. Darrell Fullington is the strong safety, and maybe the best player on the field for the Miami Hurricanes is Benny Blades. Player Pro Scouts project will go in the top 5 picks. A 6-foot, 215-pound free safety. So fast he was invited to the '84 Olympic trials.
A 7-yard gain brings up 3rd and inches.
And already you see the taunting by both of these teams. Miami been accused of that. Frankly, I think when you're this good, you can do a little taunting. Unfortunately, though, when you don't back it up like they didn't do last year in the Fiesta Bowl losing to Penn State, it becomes an albatross.
There's been a lot of taunting all week. Charles Thompson's an interesting guy, the quarterback. He's small, 5. They list him at 5'9", might be 5'8". Redshirt freshman, but very confident, very smart player. You have to be, and you have to be tough because you get hit just about every play when you run that option, whether you keep it or not. And on 3rd and less than 1, Thompson calls his own number and takes it ahead behind All-American guard Mark Hudson, who got a big block straight ahead. And the Sooners fire out and get a first down.
This offense of Oklahoma, since it put in the wishbone a number of years ago, has been one of the all-time great offenses. But this year led the nation in rushing offense, total offense. And most of the yards came from the 2 quarterbacks. Thompson and Jamel Holloway, now hurt, combined for 1,591 yards and 20 touchdowns.
They go to the fullback. Lydell Carr, the first down, and Ken Terry is cut down for a loss of maybe 2 yards, back to about the 46-yard line. Derwin Jones, a huge tackle, shot in and got him. Holloway, who's been the key man for the Sooners, quarterback the national championship team as a freshman, but he's out with knee surgery, although he's coming back nicely.
Barry Switzer calls him the best wishbone quarterback he's ever had. Said the difference between Holloway and Thompson is that Thompson goes down when he's tackled. Holloway very, very strong with his stiff arm.
Second down and 12. Pitch back goes, and here comes Patrick Collins. He breaks the line of scrimmage, and he's out across the 50 and down close to the 44-yard line on a second down run. Patrick Collins, who, as you see, averages 7.6 a carry, is going to be about 2 yards short of a first down.
But Don, the majority of the yards Oklahoma getting here in this first offensive series for them on the outside. They want to start with that fullback up the middle. They keep going to the pitch. That's almost like a pass for most teams.
Well, as Barry Switzer says, Trump, they pass so little. He says, we pass and we want to hold the score down. They are not a good passing team, but they don't have to be. Over 400 yards a game running the ball, and Thompson keeps it himself on third down. It's going to be very close. Third down and 2 carry with 8:41 to go in the first quarter. Clock running, and Miami in the lead 7-0.
Oklahoma has had tremendous trouble running the wishbone against this defense. One of the things that I think helps is that Jimmy Johnson, when he was an assistant coach at Oklahoma, put in the wishbone with Barry Switzer and Galen Hall, now the head coach at Florida. So he knows the intricacies of the wishbone. And every time they play, Jimmy Johnson puts in a little defensive wrinkle. The other thing I think that helps Miami, great speed at linebacker. Outstanding pursuers along the line of scrimmage.
Interesting call now.
You gotta go.
Fourth down, and as you see, probably just a little less than a yard.
Nice. Putting out the punter. Now remember, Barry Switzer deferred. He wanted to put his defense on the field to start the football game, and Miami went right down the field. He still shows great confidence in his defense by putting the punter out.
Now Thompson ready to hit it. He's been stronger later in the season. He's been better than that 38-yard average in the recent games. Brett Perriman, he gets into open field. That could be it. The fastest Miami Hurricane. Miami leads 7-0. Opening drive, a 30-yard touchdown pass. Walsh to fullback Melvin Bratton. Ball will be hit inside the 10. Sooners get a bounce, and they'll down the ball at the 2-yard line.
Don, it looked like his foot hit the goal line. They're going to mark it where he touched it, 41 yards. Kurt Casper downed it, but it looked like his foot hit the inline. And when it hits the goal line, then it should go to the touchback. Let's see once again. Not his foot, the other guy's foot. All right. Here's Oklahoma. May have gotten a break here. Watch Kurt Casper. Watch his left foot. It's on the goal line. That ball should come back out to the 20 for Miami. But instead it starts first and 97. Again, watch his left foot. And when that foot hits the goal line, he's in the end zone. The ball doesn't have to be in the end zone. If he touches any part of the ball and he's in the end zone, touchback. First break, Oklahoma.
Picture right there, spotting where the football was first touched at the 3-yard line. So now Miami has the long field to go, leading 7-0. Handoff. Warren Williams buys the middle and gets plenty. He's out to the 10-yard line. A 6-foot, 205-pound runner, north-south runner. Not much juking when he gets the ball. He heads right at you. Fifth-year senior from Fort Myers, Florida. He's been a very valuable part of this Miami team.
And we opened this ball game wondering about the offensive line of the Miami Hurricanes. So far, they're holding up fine. They are responding to the challenge.
2 starting tackles out, one with an injury, one due to suspension because of a drug issue. Pitch back. Again, an end up goes to Reed. Look at that strike by Darrell Reed, the outside end. The outside backer, really. You'll see these Oklahoma linebackers come up to the line of scrimmage like ends. They're interchangeable. They will rush the passer. Number 40, Darrell Reed, and Troy Johnson on the other side, number 80, lead the team in sacks. Lucius Selman, one of the defensive coaches, the former All-American at Oklahoma, said we have to create havoc in their backfield. Last time we played a gap defense, tried to control the line of scrimmage. We've got to get at least one of our ends and our nose tackle in the backfield because Walsh is expert at the short drop and the quick throw. There's a man in the backfield, and there's nothing there for Warren Williams as Darrell Reed from the left side got across the line.
Reed almost was offside, was able to get back, and then catches the play from behind. They try the straight dive. You see an excellent job from the outside by Reed. Good foot speed. From the I formation, Miami runs. From the split backs, they seem to throw.
This time, the #1 defense in the country stops the Hurricanes. So they go out. It's 4th down now and ready to punt the ball after 3 downs and out for the offensive unit is Jeff Fiegels. He really unloads.
Whoa.
Diving back, Derek White. Free ball. It wasn't touched. It'll be down by Miami at the 21-yard line. Jeff Fiegels with a huge punt. 65 yards. Play first quarter, Orange Bowl in Miami. The underdog Hurricanes of Miami have just got a 65-yard punt off the foot of Jeff Fiegels. And now the Sooners start their possession at the 21-yard line. Thompson sets the bone behind him. Rolling out. Thompson is caught from behind. Coming up to get him on the play was Randy Shannon, the strong side linebacker, a junior from Miami, who is a very quick to the ball player. He started his career here as a defensive back.
Because Oklahoma only throws the ball in desperation, you can see the defensive backs and linebackers are all committed right to the line of scrimmage. They're 22. The strong side linebacker just shoots right through the first gap he sees and grabs Thompson for about a 4-yard loss.
Second down and 15 where they position the ball and they try the fullback and he doesn't get a thing. Greg Mark, an undersized defensive tackle, somehow sheds the block and makes a shoulder hit on the big fullback Lydell Carr, a 225-pounder. And this Miami defense standing tall against a much bigger Oklahoma offensive line.
Thompson now in his 2 starts for Oklahoma has completed just 35% of his passes. There's Mark, the man who made the tackle. So now you've got Oklahoma in a real big spot. 3rd down and 16. They don't function well here. They might stay with the pitch.
Oklahoma #1 in offense, but they're not in the top 100 teams in passing. Pitch back. They gamble. They go to Stafford, and he doesn't get much at all. On 3rd down and 16, Miami shuts it down. Colbert Bain came up, and Randy Shannon again. Right now, it's all Miami.
And I don't think Barry Switzer wanted to take any chance early stages of the game throwing the football. Thompson is not a good thrower. And you know that in a passing situation, we got an injury coming off here. Greg Mark limping. You know the primary receiver for Oklahoma is going to be Keith Jackson. Here's the other phase that Jimmy Johnson believes he can win. They got 10 guys up to block this punt.
He said, matter-of-factly, we will win the kicking game. Miami should get very good field position as Todd Thompson hits the ball. Very high, well-hit ball. Brett Perriman's going to let it roll, and it takes a hop towards the sideline. Goes out of bounds at the Hurricane 45-yard line. So Miami, leading 7-0, sends out his offense. We'll be back. First quarter of this national championship game, 7-0 Miami. Let's go to the sideline to Tom Hammond. Tom?
Don, this emotional level of this Miami team is incredible right now. We do know they have the home field advantage. About 80% of the crowd appear to be Hurricane fans. All week in preparation for the game, they were uptight. It seemed that they were just not able to concentrate on what was at hand, while Oklahoma was losing, very relaxed. Right now, Miami is at a very high emotional level, and the replacement players, taking the place of the 3 men that are out, have played flawlessly so far. Everything going Miami's way.
They really have been flawless, and now here's the handoff. Warren Williams breaks the Oklahoma defense and crashes down inside the 45-yard line. On a 1st and 10 carry, he's ahead for a gain of about 12 yards where they position the ball. Ricky Dixon, the All-American free safety, last line of defense for the Sooners, made the stop. Trump?
And so far, Miami right on schedule. 6 runs, 6 passes. Greg Marks on the sideline. We'll get a report when we possibly can as to the extent of the injury. See if we can pick up what happened. A lot of people on him. Not sure exactly what they're looking at, but...
Back to live action now, and 1st down and 10. Walsh takes a deep drop. He goes over the middle, and his tight end, Alfredo Roberts, can't come down with the ball at the 18-yard line, making a gutsy try at it. And Walsh paid after he released. He was struck down by defensive end Troy Johnson.
Roberts paid, too. Oklahoma, primarily a zone team. When you throw the ball down in the middle of that zone, you're going to get nailed by somebody. As Michael Irvin has the bomb squad towel on the back of his pants there.
Sooner secondary is one of the best in America. In fact, they've intercepted as many balls as the offense has caught. Almost 25 interceptions coming into this game.
To those who, with a boundless energy and burning spirit, live to be...
Receiver's nightmare here. You see the eyes of Walsh. He's looking at Alfredo Roberts just a little over his outstretched hands, and then he gets absolutely shillelagh'd by Ricky Dixon.
Live action, Melvin Bratton, whose first catch, you'll remember, is for a touchdown. This time he's ahead for a gain of almost 9 yards. On a 2nd and 10 play, he is inside the 35-yard line of Oklahoma. Knocked down on the play by Derek White and Richard Dillon. Penalty marker down. Bill McDonald, the referee from the Eastern Independent Association of Officials. Let's go back to Tom on the sideline.
Don Greg Mark off the defensive line of the Hurricanes has a bruised right shin near the ankle. He's testing it right now, and they tell us he could come back and play again.
That'll be good. He's most important to the Miami defense. As you see, a blocking foul against the Miami Hurricanes will set them way back. They took the opening kickoff and went down the field, mixing the run and the pass, and then finally a 30-yard touchdown throw to Melvin Bratton out of the backfield. Went into the end zone. It was the first score and the only one so far. Underdog Miami 7, Oklahoma nothing.
Roberts looks all right, but he took a real hit in the side of the head. Doctors are asking how many fingers I have up. Where do you live? Where are you? What's your name? Your number? If everything checks out, he'll be back in there in a minute.
Ricky Dixon's not big, but a rocket hitter. He knocked him out of the game. Now on 2nd down and 18, the Sooner defense stuffs it. Warren Williams was knocked down by Tom Backus. Both these teams loaded with pro prospects.
In the estimation of some pro scouts, there has never been a college football game played with more pro scouts. These are the best pro prospects for Miami. The numbers we have for both these teams, somewhere around 30 or 31 legitimate professional prospects. There's Jim Kelly.
Jim Kelly, the Buffalo Bills quarterback.
Here's another audible at the line of scrimmage, Don. You see the hand signals?
They're down in 22 as Walsh has the big rush against him and lose it for the moment, but overthrows his intended receiver, Melvin Bratton. And there's also a marker down back in the Hurricane backfield. We could have a holding call against Miami.
Personal foul tripping against Miami. We showed you the Miami prospects. Here are the Oklahoma prospects. Matter of fact, you see the 4 offensive tackles. 2 of them can play in the NFL, but can't start for Oklahoma.
Caesar Rennie, a backup tackle, projects to be a middle round draft choice. That's Lucius Selman, one of the famed Selman brothers of Sooner fame. With the headset on next to Coach Barry Switzer. Oklahoma with the #1 defense, but it was burned early. 1:58 to play now in the first quarter. 7-0 Miami.
This is interesting. We have 3rd down and 22 to go. And there is a tripping penalty, which is a major penalty. And yet Oklahoma, the players are saying, we want to take the penalty. If they let the play stand, if they decline the penalty, it'll be 4th down. I don't know what the confusion is here or what the problem is here. Fourth down. Okay. I mean, the defense wanted to put the offense back even farther. Switzer says, no, make them punt. We'll get the offense back on the field.
So far, though, Oklahoma, with the nation's #1 offense, has had virtually nothing against this Miami defense. Bagels, you remember his first punt was 65 yards downfield as the Sooners drop back 2 receivers. Ready to return the kick. Derek White fair catches the ball back at the 8-yard line. So again, Bagels does his job very well. That a 41-yard punt with no return. High above the Orange Bowl on January 1, 1988, the Goodyear Blimp Enterprise from Pompano Beach, Florida. The captain of the blimp tonight is Dr. Jim Maloney from Vienna, Virginia. The Goodyear Blimp first appeared over the Orange Bowl in 1935 when Miami played Bucknell and was shut out 26-0.
Oklahoma now must begin to get some fullback yardage to get that defense packed in again there so they can go back to the pitch, Don.
They set to zone. One wide receiver to the left. First back through is the fullback, Lydell Carr, who was totally shut down by the Hurricanes when Miami upset Oklahoma in 1986. He got just 6 yards and 6 carries. That time he gets a little and out to about the 13-yard line.
Now we notice Greg Mark out of the ball game, defensive tackle for the Hurricanes, and Jimmy Jones in 63. He just made the tackle.
Fumbles a danger in the Sooner offense. High risk, high reward. They tied a team record with the Sooners fumbling 58 times this season. They lost 22. Calling his own number and sprinting by the defensive line is Charles Thompson. A late hit. There'll be 15 added on.
That's Darrell Fullington with the elbow to the head. Look at Jimmy Johnson. Son, don't kill us with penalties. Be aggressive, but play smart. Personal foul against Miami. That's a major penalty.
Here's a reverse angle look.
A good call by Oklahoma. Thompson with excellent speed. Watch the elbow at the end. No question that's a major penalty. And as a matter of fact, he's even coming out. Fullington's going to sit a play. Let Jimmy Johnson say, look, son, you're better than that. You don't need to do that.
Nobody ever said this was a gathering of Eagle Scouts here. Got a lot of hombres who play hard, tough football, but that cat's going to lose the football games. Hand off. Right up. No, he keeps the ball to Charles Thompson, faking to the fullback Lydell Carr. And the knockdown's made back at the 35-yard line. Bill Hawkins shot through. Has really come on for the Hurricanes in the season, as you see a big rangy defensive end from nearby Hollywood, Florida.
It looks like Oklahoma is coming with an extra offensive lineman. They almost have an unbalanced line, and then they're running away from that unbalanced line. But the linebackers so far for Miami filling those gaps.
2nd and 14, as you see. Thompson pitch back. Stafford turns the corner, and Anthony Stafford on a 2nd and 14 play is out across the 40-yard line and out to the 44-yard line of Oklahoma.
Selwyn Brown on the tackle. When the Oklahoma Sooners go to the pitch, that means that things aren't working inside. The quarterbacks to this point in the season, 1987 season, have been the major ground gainers. Thompson, that one big pickup. The rest of the yardage from the outside.
Thompson, an excellent all-round athlete. He was drafted by the Cincinnati Reds to play Major League Baseball. And he might go that route. He's not a pro prospect, but he's got a long way to go in his career. As on straight ahead carry by fullback Lydell Carr. Bernard Clark comes in and makes the knockdown on 3rd down and about 4. They're shut down, and again the punter comes on the field for Oklahoma. That's the way the Sooners like it.
Second quarter, it's 7-0. The underdog Miami has the lead. Don Crickey with Bob Trumpy.
Oklahoma coach Barry Switzer disdains the passing game. He says we do our throwing and pregame warm-up, but he might have to put it up here tonight, Trump.
Don, first quarter, 2 big surprises. 1, Oklahoma averaging 43 points per game shut out in the first quarter. And 2, I'm very impressed with the poise of Steve Walsh, their Miami quarterback. He's not bothered at all by the national championship.
Now they say that's one of his strong suits. Mistake-free football won him the job, Walsh. And now Thompson punts the ball a knuckler downfield. Perriman again lets it take a hop, and it takes a big Sooner bounce. As the maroon shirts from Norman, Oklahoma surround the ball at the 13-yard line. The Clemson Tigers roll today in the Citrus Bowl, defeating Penn State 35-10 in a spectacular Fiesta Bowl here on NBC Sports. Florida State under Bobby Bowden came from behind to beat Tom Osborne's Nebraska Huskers. Texas A&M came from behind to rout Notre Dame 35-10 in the Cotton Bowl. And in the Sugar Bowl, a late field goal by the Auburn Tigers gained them a tie with Syracuse. Michigan State, a victor in the Rose Bowl over USC 20-17. Big Ten had not won in that classic matchup since 1981 when Michigan beat Washington. Hand off to Bratton, cutting back. Melvin Bratton, a big back with a lot of speed, gets out close to the 19-yard line on first down and 10. Now let's go back to the sideline. Tom Hammond. Tom?
Don Alfredo Roberts remains on the sideline for this series for the Hurricanes. He took a shot to the head, had his bell rung, and a little too woozy to go back out. They say he may return later in the game, but right now on the sideline.
Don, his replacement, Chudzinski, and Roberts, I think, just came back in. Chudzinski, 84, missed most of the season with a broken arm, suffered this summer. Has never caught a pass, but Roberts back in the ballgame.
Wing formation to the left. Throw offense all the way for the Hurricanes as Melvin Bratton spins off a tackler, finds his way somehow on a second down and 4 play. He's out to the 21-yard line.
Show you how deep in talent Miami Hurricanes have been. Bratton, now a fullback. He was a tailback when Alonzo Highsmith was here. This is one of the few fullback-oriented pro-style offenses you'll find. A lot of second effort to be expected in a national championship game.
Bratton, who scored his 33rd career touchdown, the only score of this game so far tonight on a pass reception. Lined up in the backfield, this time to go with a power formation right. Extra tight ends in the game. Bratton they go, and Melvin Bratton breaks the crust of the Oklahoma defense, and he's ahead of the 29-yard line. It's a 1st and 10 for the Hurricanes. Troy Johnson made the tackle.
Again, an excellent job by the offensive line of the Miami Hurricanes. They're not blowing people off the ball, but they're walling them out. Now watch these linebackers. You see, there's not a big push there, but they keep their position so the defensive linebackers cannot make the tackle.
Miami controlling the ball much of the first half as we're early in the second quarter. Hurricanes up 7-0. Walsh in trouble. We're going to get him back at the 24-yard line. 1st and 10 play resulting in a loss of about 8 yards. Tony Woods coming from the defensive line. Number 99 was the first man through. Everybody on the Sooner team can run. The defense, probably the fastest defense in the country, man-to-man.
Yeah, you know, that was a blitz, too, Don. They flushed Walsh out of the pocket. If Oklahoma begins to commit to the blitz to try to stop some of the offense of Miami, that's playing into Miami's hands, in my estimation. Then you can turn Michael Irvin and Blades loose in that defensive backfield of Oklahoma.
Oklahoma, number 1 in the country in pass defense. They allow just 102 yards a game. Walsh already, as you saw, with over 60. Roy Johnson makes the tackle on a 3rd down, 15 play. 2nd and 15. It'll be 3rd down, about 12 coming up as the ball is close to the 25-yard line.
Extra defensive backs in the ball game. Ken McMichael, last time Miami in this situation, the long crossing pattern to Irvin. Allow his foot speed, get across that field, and Walsh hit him right in stride for a big pickup.
Gary Stevens, the offensive coordinator in Miami, says the strength of Walsh is his mistake-free football, his ability to put together long, controlled drives. He's not a big strike player. This time, Bratton comes down with the ball again as his stock rises with the pro scouts. Bratton with another big play for the Hurricanes out to the 37-yard line. He'll still be short of a 1st down. There was a gain of 12. And that brings up 4th down, so Fiegels comes out to punt again.
I think you got to like about this Steve Walsh is that he moves his feet so well. He's always in the correct position to throw the football. That's why he's so accurate. Those numbers certainly, field position in a game for the national championship, a key indicator. Fiegels has kept Oklahoma back inside their own 20.
Last 2 have not been returned. 1 for 65, the second for 41. 3-step punter. They didn't put a big rush on him, though. This one not too deep, and Patrick Collins runs it back for the Sooners, but not very far as he's knocked down at about the 23-yard line. 44-yard punt, a 4-yard return. And now the nation's number 1 offense comes back out, unable to fire the big gun yet at this Miami defense.
And Alfredo Roberts, the tight end, having his shoulder looked at. His backup, Chudzinski, never caught a pass.
Pitch back, goes to Patrick Collins, and again, the Hurricanes are there to sweep him under as Randy Shannon. One of the outside linebackers, number 22, was the first to make the play. Shannon averaging 10 tackles a game. He had 13 in the win over Notre Dame and 12 the next week in the victory over South Carolina.
This is when Roberts got hit It looked like he landed with his shoulder extended. He also got, or his arm extended on his shoulder. He also got dinged in the head. And he is a big receiver. He's trying to shake it off. He wants to play in this national championship game.
Doesn't look like he could hurt him with a hammer, but he'll be back. Option. Thompson keeps it and darts his way across the 30 to the 31-yard line. The All-American safety for the Miami Hurricanes, Benny Blade, said during the week that they liken catching Charles Thompson to getting a fly with chopsticks. So far, he's not had a lot of runs for any big gains.
Not big. Jimmy Johnson exhorting from the sideline there. Blades, a tremendous hitter. Also an excellent man in coverage, but of course against Oklahoma, his number one responsibility all night long is just make tackles as close to the line of scrimmage as possible. Oklahoma in the first quarter, 57 yards total offense.
No turnovers yet. There will be. 3rd down and 2 for the Sooners. And now Charles Thompson, whether it was the crowd noise or the defensive alignment, I'm not sure, but the last time, Trump, as you know, that Oklahoma came here to the Orange Bowl, the crowd noise was a big factor. They could not audibilize successfully, and really they fell apart offensively.
Hi there. You looking for Mr. Wright?
Well, let's check on the injury to tight end Alfredo Roberts. Here's Tom.
Don, you and Bob were talking about the injury to Alfredo Roberts. He had just general pain in his shoulder, and they patched him up, and he's going to come back in. He took a shot to the head earlier, now the shoulder, but he wants to play in this one, and he'll be back.
The Sooners trailing 7-0 with 10:02 to play in the first half. Set to Wishbone. 3rd down and 2. Thompson pitch back. Patrick Collins. And Collins gets outside and looks to have the first down out to about the 34-yard line. Patrick Collins, another speed burner in the backfield. Not big. 5'10", 185 pounds. He scored 8 touchdowns and has averaged a spectacular 7.6 a carry this season.
Yeah, but down at 3rd down and 2, the Oklahoma Sooners normally just hammer it right at the defense. They're running wide. They're running to the sideline. What Miami is doing is they're putting Clark, the middle linebacker, almost up on the line of scrimmage.
First down for the Sooners. They've not been near the Miami goal line yet. Thompson drops, takes a look, fires it long. He's got Keith Jackson downfield, but the ball, as you see, comes in high. At the 43-yard line. Jackson blocking and then releasing deep downfield.
Here's the breakdown now for the offense of Oklahoma. 19 runs, and this is the first pass. Jackson, their primary receiver, averages almost 28 yards per catch. I'm not sure Thompson could have got it in there. I think Miami was expecting that pass, figuring they'd gone long enough without throwing it.
Give you an idea how much the Sooners use the pass. Jackson's their leading receiver with only 13 catches for the year, but he averages almost 28 a catch. 4 for touchdowns.
Look at that.
Pitch back goes to Stafford. Undersized and fast, and he can't muscle with the people that came up to take him out. Again, Randy Shannon, who's having a sensational game for the Hurricanes, made the first hit.
Now what they're able to do is avoid the block of the offensive lineman. He runs underneath the block of Greg Johnson, 75, and then he's out there. He and Clark, also 57, to make the tackle. Also see Greg Mark back in the ball game, the guy who had the injured shin earlier. So it looks like the Miami defense back and healthy and functioning very well. Thank you.
A big Sooner offensive front. A line that averages at least 290 pounds sets up on 3rd down and 8. Straight ahead give to Collins, and Patrick Collins, both arms on the ball, is not going to get there. Miami's defense set back, looking for pass. Get the quickness on the linebacking core. Tiger Clark made the stop, and Oklahoma has to punt again. Usually their punter gets the day off.
Clark does an excellent job. He's not fooled by the play fake. 56 to center. Latham can't get a block on him, and Clark there to make the tackle. Don, where Oklahoma is losing so far in this first half is first down yardage. They're getting in too many 3rd down and long situations. Oklahoma doesn't function well in those situations.
Most of the time this season, the Sooners didn't need 3rd down. Low punt downfield by Todd Thompson, going back as Perriman, living dangerously. He swept under by the kick coverage. With 8:16 to go in the first half, a 35-yard punt and a 2-yard loss on the return as they start up a bit after the play. Now, Miami goes on offense again. El Holloway on the left, the injured quarterback, the starter this season. Counseling Charles Thompson, who stepped in to replace him after he went down with that knee injury. Here's what Oklahoma's done so far, though. Not much has happened for the Sooners.
In a year when you average 428 yards of offense a game, I hope to tell you, they don't expect that.
First down and 10 for Miami. Second back, trying to find room, and Warren Williams gets up to about the 25-yard line. Gained only a yard and a half on the play. Leonard Conley comes into the backfield.
So far, Miami doing a great job against, I think, a bigger defense up front. You see these guys are excellent pass protectors. They look like throw offensive linemen. Stand up and try to bench press those defensive linemen away. That time, Leonard Conley, Jimmy Johnson likes to alternate his backfields. Presently, they have Cleveland Gary at fullback, Leonard Conley at halfback to give the starters a little blow.
Conley, a 170-pound freshman with breakaway speed. Here's a long ball downfield. Irvin stopped his pattern. It goes incomplete. Irvin appeared trying to be running an out pattern, and Walsh was looking for the hitch and go, and he released it long, so it's incomplete. And that brings up 3rd down and 8 now for the Hurricanes.
One of the good things about this offense throughout the season is there's been very little lack of communication between quarterback and receivers. Walsh is required to do a great deal at the line of scrimmage. Alfredo Roberts is coming out again. So that means Chudzinski, the 3rd-string tight end, is in there. All right, we got 3 wide receivers. Perriman at the bottom of the screen is the 3rd wide receiver. And you see the audible.
Walsh has been sacked only 13 times this season. He's tough to get to. Up the middle, he's got Irvin. He's got a first down as Michael Irvin takes a big bang at the 39, holds on. And it's a first down for Miami, a 13-yard gain on the pass play.
Same play they ran in the first quarter. Ken McMichael, the 5th defensive back, trying to keep pace with Irvin. Good protection for Walsh. And he's looking at Irvin all the way. Well, that's an excellent throw by this young man. Of course, the guy that replaces Vinny Testaverde's probably not going to get the press. But this kid is sensational, and so is he.
In the clutch, they look to 47. He makes another play. Here's Walsh play faking on first down. Looking deep. He screens it out near side to Conley.
There's a
penalty markers are down. There'll be an illegal block against the Hurricanes. And so on a first down play, they'll be set back. Scott Evans, playing nicely for the Sooners, made the tackle.
Yeah, he was the guy who was also clipped.
Scott Evans in the starting lineup, replacing one of Oklahoma's best pass rushers, Darren Kirkpatrick, who went down with a freak knee injury on Wednesday. A light drill, but he twisted his knee and cannot play in this game. It is a very balmy, humid night in South Florida with 6:59 to play in the first half. 7-0. Miami leading on its first possession. They took it down the field, finally hitting a touchdown throw from Steve Walsh to fullback Melvin Bratton. So far, Walsh throwing the ball very well against the best pass defense in the country.
7 of 11, 91 yards and a touchdown. He's not even come close to, you see the penalty right there. Looks like the center, the right guard, Bobby Garcia, 50, comes out and hits Scott Evans in the back. Major penalty, so it's 1st and 25 now. No turnovers yet. Rather surprising in a game of this magnitude with this pressure.
Got to think they're going to come both ways before it's over. Walsh on 1st and long yardage. 1st and 25 downfield, and diving for the ball is Brian Blades. Incomplete at the 37. The touchdown pass given up by the Sooners in the first quarter was only the 4th they've given up all season. Defense with 25 interceptions. Their offense came in with only 35 pass completions in 11 games.
This ball just slightly overthrown. Brian Blades, older brother of Benny, just a little bit out of his reach, but once again you can see how close it is to being a completion.
Steve Walsh was a high school All-American at Creighton High School in St. Paul, Minnesota. Came to the passing school and now starting as a redshirt sophomore. He's 20 years old, loops it downfield. Too high, and the Sooners have it. Ricky Dixon, the All-American, takes it back inside the 40. And Dixon still working at it. Not done yet. Turning to the outside. There's a marker down for an illegal block. But Oklahoma finally forces a turnover with 6:21 to play in the first half. The Sooners will get it on the Miami side of the field.
entire team has thrown just 9 interceptions all season long. Walsh's 7th of the year. That ball should not have been thrown. Don't throw the ball late down the middle. And that's exactly what Walsh tried to do. We do have a clip on the end of the play, but once he's pressured, you got to start looking to the outside. First mistake he's made tonight, frankly, it's allowable. He tries to get the ball to 33 Harriman. Dixon right there to make the interception. First turnover of the night, and obviously the best field position Oklahoma's had tonight. When he throws this ball, I think he realizes I've made a mistake. He had a string on it. He'd like to have it back because he knows I got to make a tackle somewhere.
Now back to live action. First back through is the fullback. Lydell Carr hit straight ahead, knocked down on the play by Derwin Jones. That was only the 8th interception that Steve Walsh has thrown this season.
Make this point about Lydell Carr. Had knee surgery, came back, rehabilitated basically when the season was over. At some point, I think Oklahoma has to find out, are they stopping us, or is Lydell Carr not really sharp? And look at Rodney Anderson, the backup fullback.
They're concerned probably about going to Rodney. He's fumbled 7 times in his last 3 starts.
But they need fullback yardage right now.
2nd down and 6. Thompson takes it himself, puts his head down. He's taken on by Bernard Clark. Middle linebacker starting for suspended George Myra Jr. It'll be about a yard short of the first down, bring up 3rd and short. The Sooners, ignited perhaps by the defensive play, the interception a bit earlier that got him this possession by Ricky Dixon was the 17th of his career. And that ties him with a famous name, particularly in Texas football history, Darrell Royal. He was Oklahoma's all-time leading interceptor as a player.
He's not been a weakness yet.
First back again. They shut down the fullback on 3rd and 1. And let's see if Switzer punts again. 5:02 to play.
Now you see what they're doing in those 3rd down and short yardage situations. They're putting Clark right up at the line of scrimmage. What Oklahoma would like to do is go with the double team. Barry Switzer thinking about this for he's right up there next to the tackles. There's no double team anywhere. And Clark is there untouched to make the tackle, and Oklahoma's going for it.
They are indeed trailing 7-0 in this national championship game. 4.5 minutes to go, first half. Power set. Thompson pitches back, turning upfield is Stafford, and he dives over the top. And the Sooners have the first down on a standout effort by Anthony Stafford. Patrick Collins, not big, but a fine blocker, made the pop that freed him as over the top when Anthony Stafford for the first down on a 4th down carry.
And look what they're doing. Look what Miami's doing. Here's Clark. He comes up here right in the middle, and then none of these linemen can get double teams. They all got to block single. Oklahoma's got to get to the outside again to pick up a 3rd down and short yardage situation. You can see the people out there who have a chance to make the tackle.
Sooners keep it alive. Again, they go up the middle. There's not much there as a throwback is made from the 35-yard line. Bill Hawkins and Bernard Clark were on the stop. Lydell Carr getting yet another carry. Game clock running. 3:51 to play. First half. Lydell Carr with 9 carries for 22 yards. One of the teams that did best against Oklahoma, the Missouri Tigers, under the former Steelers defensive coordinator in their Super Bowl years, Woody Widenhofer, put 3 men on Charles Thompson to stop him. Sooners won that game 17-13. Pitch back goes to Collins. On 2nd and 8, there's nothing there, and it's 3rd and long. Colbert Bain makes the stop for Miami.
Again, Oklahoma in the situation of 3rd down and long yardage. And again, it's because at this point now, Miami's not really respecting that fullback dive. I still say at some point in this half, you've got to find out if it's Lydell Carr just rusty from coming back from knee surgery, or if it's the Miami defense and try Anderson at fullback.
Well, this Miami defense shut down the Sooner fullback the last 2 times they played. Now a hard throw off the flank. A nice reception down to the 25-yard line for a first down. A spectacular play by Arthur Guess. Only his 4th catch of the season.
That ball looked like it bounced. I'm serious.
It came in low. Guess made the play of the night for Oklahoma, catching it.
Maybe I'm seeing things, but I thought that ball bounced when he threw it.
I think he gets it clean.
Yeah, he does. It's just the dust from his feet that are kicked up. I thought I saw dust there, and I let the ball bounce. He played shortstop with it.
The coach is churning. They both are. First down and 10 for the Sooners, who trail 7. Not much there as the knockdown's made at the 23-yard line. Lydell Carr taken on by the middle linebacker, Bernard Clark. I asked George Myra Jr. what they did to stop the fullback last time they played, and he said, my only responsibility was tackle to tackle. All I looked for was the fullback and hit him every down.
Well, it certainly worked.
Our producer tonight for NBC Sports is George Finkel. Our director, John Gonzalez. The executive producer of NBC Sports, Michael Weissman. We're down inside 2 minutes to play first half. Pitch back. Stafford breaks it. He's down to the 16-yard line. On a second down and long 8, he'll be about a yard short of a Sooner first down.
Not even though the wishbone is referred to as the triple option, there are hundreds of options off of the single option. This time it's the delay with the guard pull. You see Hudson 79 gets out in front of it. And then Stafford follows him right up in there. That's a nice pickup. It's going to be third down and short again. And this is the one down that Miami has done a great job against Oklahoma so far in this first half.
I love discovering the Americas. Plymouth Horizon America. Sticker price only $59.95. Same price without the sticker. Then I discovered Plymouth Reliant America.
Miami still holding to a 7-0 lead late in the first half, but the Sooners starting to challenge. You have to wonder, Trump, with the adrenaline pumping and every player hitting full force every down, if we won't see some balls on the field. We've had one turnover, that's the interception of Miami.
Well, that's always the problem with the Oklahoma Sooners. 58 fumbles so far this year. I'm very, very much impressed with both of these teams' defenses, especially Miami's. Their design is excellent. Bernard Clark, the middle linebacker replacing George Myra Jr., doing an outstanding job of at least making Oklahoma run to the outside in these third and short situations.
Sooners try the fullback again. This time Lydell Carr fighting off tacklers. Gets inside the 15-yard line. He's going to be very close to a first down. That was a third down and less than 2 play. Third and about a yard and a half.
I think they got it marked enough for the first down. That's one of the few times third and short that you saw Bernard Clark, the middle linebacker, back up the line of scrimmage. Carr, 11 carries, 26 yards to this point. And I think Barry Switzer realized his team is struggling.
The last time Miami won the national championship, they built up a 17-0 lead 4 years ago, and Nebraska then had to hold off the Huskers, winning 31-30. Thompson caught from behind. Is he? No, he gets away, and Thompson's down to the 5-yard line. That catching a fly with the chopsticks adage. Flying there, Greg Mark had him, or thought he did.
He's not big. He is awful fast. He has that neck collar you see. Written on it is a Sioux Indian saying, "Hunta yo," clear the way. This time, he cuts back inside, picks up 8.
First and goal. Now 2nd and 3 where they position the ball and down to the goal line with a first down. On the carry is Lydell Carr, and Coach Switzer must be feeling better about things now with 36 seconds to play. The Sooners call a timeout. 36 to go in the first half. As you see, the Sooners are out of timeouts. With that last timeout call, the ball positioned a yard from the Miami goal line with 36 seconds to play in the half. 7-0. Hurricanes have the lead. Took the opening kickoff and went down the field, scoring on a 30-yard pass from Steve Walsh to fullback Melvin Bratton, a thing of beauty. Perfectly executed. Only the 4th TD pass the Sooners have given up all season. No timeouts left for Miami. Fullback banging close. Is he in? No signal. They better move quickly. Clock running as the linesmen come in, and now they stop the clock with 29 seconds to play in the half.
Here we go again, though. Right back to the line of scrimmage. Same play again, Don.
An undersized Miami defensive line holding off that huge Sooner defensive front. Here's a throw into the end zone to Jackson. He goes up and cannot come down with the ball. It'll be third down and goal for the Sooners at the Hurricane 1-yard line. It stopped the clock.
Yes,
Incomplete pass.
That's exactly why they did it. That's a part of why they did it. But up the gut, Oklahoma not having much success at all. Jackson almost makes his catch. Excellent athletic ability. There's no denying that. Tolbert Bain, the man in coverage. That's just the third pass that Oklahoma's thrown in this first half, and it's got to be in the end zone on this play, Don.
Unless they throw it again, they won't be able to get 2 running plays off. No timeouts left. Catch back, heading in. Touchdown as Anthony Stafford takes it in, and now the extra point comes up. The Sooners meet the challenge and take it down the field, ignited by the interception by Ricky Dixon. They come down now and finally are in position to tie the game at 7-all.
That's a 15-play drive. They scrapped and scratched and scraped for every yard in that one. No big plays. A third down conversion.
Miami defense has allowed only 23 points in the first half all season, 14 in one game. Extra point is up and good. R.D. Lasher, a freshman, pops it, and so with 9 seconds to go in the half, the national championship game is tied at 7-7.
And you can see Thompson hesitate. He wasn't really sure what to do. 48 Bubba McDowell was right there in his face. When he pulled that ball back, that's when Bubba McDowell stopped. Thompson was able to pitch the ball outside to Stafford. Now watch this pump fake. He pumps. See McDowell, he's just frozen there. Stafford goes right by him.
Also very impressive on the drive, Trump, was the 4 third downs the Sooners converted. There's the Sooner schooner, which created some problems, you recall, a few years ago here. When it came on the field and was assessed an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty.
It's allowed this year. Those third down conversions, a 3rd and 1, a 3rd and 8, a 3rd and 2, and the scoring play, a 3rd and goal at the 1.
Usually, this 44-point-a-game offense wears those fine horses out. It's running most of the time, that Sooner.
Ponies has rested so far this evening. I didn't think we'd only have 14 points scored in the first half between these two teams.
Oklahoma allows only 7.4 points a game. Miami just over 10 points a game. Both coming in 11-0. Jimmy Johnson, the only team to beat Barry Switzer in the last 3 years. He's done it twice. They're old friends. They date way back to their days at Arkansas when Jimmy Johnson was an All-American guard. Barry Switzer was the student assistant coach. Both on the staff at Oklahoma together. But that's been put aside tonight, that friendship, as Randall Hill and Alex Johnson are back deep now for Miami. Thompson sends it downfield on 2 hops. Randall Hill has a problem now. He turns it upfield and is finally cut down at the 16-yard line. 5 seconds to play. The Hurricanes have time for 1 play.
Here we go, pushing and shoving again.
Referee's right in the middle of that.
Not a good place to be.
A lot of whooping all week long between these two teams. In the locker room of the Miami Hurricanes, there's a sign that reads, "They cannot beat us 3 times in a row. It's impossible." That's a quote from Anthony Phillips, offensive lineman for Oklahoma. Well, you don't need many signs to motivate you with this on the line.
You can see Miami scored on their first drive of the half, and Oklahoma's going to score on their last drive of the half. And in between, a lot of head knocking.
Jimmy Johnson's 44 years old. 40-8 record. There's been a lot of conjecture. Will he go to the National Football League after this game?
He's waited 364 days for this opportunity. It is absolutely burned in him. Last year, probably with the most talent in college football in the last 20 years, he could not win the national championship, and he kept referring to himself all week long down here in Miami as the other guy. He lost to Johnny Majors. He lost to Joe Paterno. He's now playing Barry Switzer. He says, "I'm always the other guy. The only way I can be one of them is to win that national title."
He's been sensational in the regular season, but the bowl games surely have not been a happy story. 0-3. First year he was beaten in the Fiesta Bowl, upset by UCLA. And then losing the next 2 years in bowl games. Houston rookie Alonzo Highsmith came alive in the final game of the season to carry the Oilers into the playoffs for the first time since 1980. That'll be on Sunday. The Hall of Fame Bowl is tomorrow on NBC Sports. Michigan goes against Alabama. Bob Costas, Paul McGuire, Ahmad Rashad will be calling that game. They've been released from the studio.
Yes, they have.
Work release.
Chains are broken. Winking, blinking, and nod.
The biggest show in football is the halftime show at the Orange Bowl. Tonight, a tour of America musically. 7-7 game. 5 seconds to go in the half. Bratton, that'll do it. And so, through the first 30 minutes, it's a stand-up at the 1988 Orange Bowl. Miami went up first. Now, we have a moment. Let's go to the sideline to Tom Hammond. Tom?
Barry, your offense sputtered in that first half, though you did knock it in right at the end to tie it up. Specifically, they seem to have taken the fullback out of your offense. Can you adjust?
I think so. We had too many lost yardage plays in this series. We come back, lose a few yards, then we make 8 or 9 yards. And we have to come on third down and short or fourth down to try to make it. But we got to get some more consistency. Defense is playing good now. We got us a pretty good ball game.
Yeah, other than the first drive, your defense seems to have played very well.
Yeah, we are. We're playing. Of course, if it's a great receiver, makes a great throw. We had 12 men on the field. Didn't make a difference anyway.
All right, Barry Switzer. 7-7 at halftime. Let's go to New York now and Gail Gardner. Gail?
Standing. Walsh has shown no jitters whatsoever for his first big game ever. That interception thrown late down the middle, and that gave Oklahoma the short field, and they took it in for their only score of the first half. Basically, this game starts over fresh. We got a brand new ball game. You can start with the same idea you had both teams. Hopefully you can carry it through for the second half of this football game.
Edgar Bennis from Miami Beach, Florida, a walk-on ready to kick it off now for the Hurricanes. And again, the super speed is back waiting to receive Patrick Collins and Anthony Stafford, who scored the tying touchdown. That's Collins. Not big, 5'9", 185. Stafford's only 5'7", 175. But if they get in the open field, that's it. They stop in the end zone. This one's kicked too deep in their own end zone to bring it out. Stafford is counseled by Collins, and so the Sooners will take it from their 20. First down and 10 to open the third quarter.
On Oklahoma in that first half, very, very conservative in their play calling, staying pretty much with the standard wishbone. They didn't get an awful lot of yards out of it. And I thought Barry Switzer's comment at the end of the first half was absolutely on the money. They're ending up in too many third down and long yardage situations. This is a first down offense. If they get 8, if they get 6, they got the defense in trouble.
Cabanis split to the left side of your screen. They've not gone to him yet. Straight ahead run. The Sooner big blockers off at the snap as George Myra Jr. getting a little sustenance on the sideline. Vidal Carr was the man who got the carry on the first down play. It was good for a gain of 4.
On to this point, the Miami Hurricanes have not missed George Myra Jr. His replacement, Bernard Clark, has played an excellent football game in his first half. 57, the Tiger.
He's a sophomore from Tampa, Florida, Bernard Clark. He had 2 starts in other games this season against Maryland, against East Carolina. The bone is set on 2nd and 6. Thompson keeps it himself and spins ahead to about the 27-yard line, where Greg Mark made the tackle. It'll bring up third down and about 3 or 4 now for the Sooners.
Now, you see what happened at the end of that play? You see all the people that were out there for pursuit? I mean, one of the problems that Oklahoma's having with the lack of the yardage they're getting, when the fullback doesn't get up through here, everybody goes to the sideline. You can see all those people out there to make the tackle. Look at them. There's 3, 5, 6 people out there to make the tackle.
Live action now, 3rd and 2. And the Sooners aren't going to get there as Miami's Bernard Clark fills the gap and takes down the fullback. So the Hurricanes with the most important third down play, Danny Stubbs. His number's not been called much tonight.
Well, they've been running away from Stubbs.
And Blades, the All-American safety for the Hurricanes, in the first half officially had only 1 tackle and 1 assist.
Yeah, but I think that's a plus for Miami because the guys up front are making the tackles on these running backs from Oklahoma. That's not a minus.
But a concern was that Blades would make a lot of tackles at the line of scrimmage because he forces the run. Linebacker side safety, there's Brett Perriman standing back inside his 35-yard line.
Whoa, watch out.
Feels a low snap very nicely and booms the ball downfield, forcing Perriman into a fair catch at his 34-yard line. 38-yard punt. All-American Danny Stubbs feeling good about things. Game tied up, 7-7.
This guy, they call him Mr. Sack, but he can really play defense. When they run that way, Stubbs ends up helping on the tackle, but once again, it's Bernard Clark, that middle linebacker, replacing George Myra, who makes the first contact, and then the taunting begins and probably will not stop until this game is over.
Our NBC statistician, Elliot Cale, pointing out the Hurricanes have scored on their first possession of the second half 7 times in 11 games. This time they don't get much on first down as Melvin Bratton, who scored their touchdown on a pass reception in the first quarter, goes wide and is drilled out of bounds by Darrell Reed and Lonnie Finch.
With the exception of the first drive of the ball game, Oklahoma's defense has really shut down the Miami offense. Total scoring defense and total defense throughout this 1987 season been one of the best things that Oklahoma's done.
Second down and 9 coming up for Steve Walsh and the Hurricanes. Out pattern, he goes and makes the connection to Melvin Bratton. Bratton looking to dance his way to a first down, cannot do it. He'll be 3 yards short, knocked down by All-American Dante Jones of the Sooners.
Yeah, but you know, he got a little fancy there. And Bratton's not a little kid. Bratton goes about 225. Here you see the possessions for Miami after that first one. That was pretty much it. When you got a 225-pound fullback that catches the ball in the flat, the idea is put your shoulder down, carry somebody with you for the first down. It ends up being 3rd and 4.
And on 3rd and 4, the Hurricanes go to 3 wideouts. Brian Blades flanked high at the top of your screen. And near side is Perriman. And in the slot at the top, the best of the lot, Michael Irvin. And they're all good. Quick out. Yep, penalty marker was down. It could be a penalty against the Hurricanes.
Oklahoma that time did a great job of disguising their coverage. And Walsh caught at the line of scrimmage to stand there, try to identify it as best he possibly could. This took too much time, so now as opposed to 3rd and 4, it'll be 3rd and 9. I'd look once again for Bratton. They haven't covered him yet out in the flat.
Hurricanes playing for a national championship for the 3rd time in the last 5 seasons. Last January 2nd, the Fiesta Bowl, Heisman Trophy winner Vinny Testaverde was at the helm. And when they won the national title 4 years ago, Bernie Kosar, brilliant as a Cleveland Brown, equally great that night here in Miami as he directed the offense to the title. Quick throw goes to Brian Blades, and he's ahead for a first down to midfield. A 14-yard gain on the play as Walsh again surveys the whole field and gets the open man.
Richard Dillon on the tackle. McMitchell was the man back there in zone coverage. And all Blades did was come underneath the coverage. There's nobody even close to him. That's an excellent call and an excellent read by Walsh. Receivers open all over the place.
On first down and 10, the handoff goes to Warren Williams on a slant dive. He is out to about the 48-yard line of Oklahoma. A short gain on the play is coming up. To make the stop was Curtis Williams, the left tackle for the Sooners.
And number 9, Lonnie Finch.
Backs out of the backfield have been big targets for Walsh tonight and all through this season.
Gain of 2, it'll be 2nd
Pretty
and 8.
impressive. This opening drive of the second half. If Miami can keep that going.
We pointed out front, they've scored on their opening possession of the 3rd quarter 7 times in 11 games. Now on second down and 8. There's a throw and a drop. High throw to Michael Irvin. And that'll bring up 3rd down and 8.
Somebody went the wrong way there. Irvin's coming back to talk to Walsh. They had a triple formation there. Irvin on the inside. Williams, the running back, right outside of him. Really had the area flooded. Irvin wasn't expecting the football.
The Hurricanes in the 3rd quarter are moving towards the closed end of the Orange Bowl as the counterpart of quarterback Steve Walsh of Miami. Charles Thompson, the redshirt freshman for the Sooners, waits to get his shot. Wind is picking up, coming in off the Atlantic. Walsh gets time and dumps it off somehow to Bratton. Open field run by Bratton on a 3rd down and 8 play is good for a Hurricane first down.
This is a great play by Walsh. For young quarterbacks out there, after a 12-yard pickup, when you get in trouble, you can't just stand there flat-footed. Now watch Walsh's feet. He keeps moving them. He keeps moving them. Kind of looks like Bernie Kosar throwing that one, but it's a completion, and Bernie Kosar does that for a big third-down conversion. Bratton looked like about the 5th receiver in the progression. Well, Welsh found it.
Bratton's touchdown total went to 33 career tonight when he scored in the first quarter. He's gained 67 yards on 5 receptions in the game. Leading receiver is fullback Melvin Bratton of Miami. Now he runs from scrimmage on first down and doesn't get much as those quick Sooners come across and hunt him down on the far sideline. Darrell Reed, the only player ever to make first team all Big 8 4 years in a row. Outside linebacker, really. They call him a defensive end from Cypress, Texas. 7 of Oklahoma's defensive starters are from the Lone Star State.
It does look like Oklahoma's still fresh. The humidity's not too bad tonight. There's enough of a breeze to keep it cool, but Reed looks a little tired. Every time you line up and Walsh is calling an audible as he's standing at the line of scrimmage, makes you think a little bit. I think you get more tired.
Second down, almost 9. He checked off, changed the play as you see the linebacker jump in the gap. Not close to a connection. Melvin Bratton coming out of the backfield to the near side was the intended receiver. That'll bring up third down and 9. Offensive line for Miami has Darren Bruce at left tackle, replacing the injured Matt Katchen. Miami's best pass blocker. Scott Proven has moved to right tackle. Guards are Mike Sullivan and Bobby Garcia. The center is Rod Holder. The offensive line smaller than Oklahoma's offensive unit. Both playing very well. Gaines have converted 3rd and 9 and 3rd and 8 previously on this drive.
Screen.
He sets the screen up nicely to Bratton to look at the play by Dante Jones, the Big 8 Defensive Player of the Year from Dallas, Texas.
Excellent read by Dante Jones. You could tell when Walsh dropped way back there that it was a screen coming. You see Jones 50 right in the middle of your picture. All of a sudden he sees the offensive lineman come out. He comes in behind the blockers. He's untouched to make the tackle. Greg Cox comes on for a long field goal, Don. Wind is with him.
Cox, the place kicker from Fort Lauderdale. If he does indeed try it, he does have a prevailing wind behind him that's gusting. For the most part, it's a swirling wind that comes in off the Atlantic here in the Orange Bowl. This is his home turf, though. If he makes this one, it'll be about a 59-yard attempt.
56 yards.
We'll see where they put where he had now. He's putting his hole down.
This is a serious field goal here. 56 yards.
Will be number 38, Jeff Beagles.
I'm wondering if Oklahoma buys this. Maybe they think there might be a fake here.
Last year, the Sooner place kicker can hit it long distance also. The first one he made this year, the freshman, was a 53-yarder. Cox hit a 52-yarder earlier this season against East Carolina.
I think Miami there had to take a timeout because their field goal snapper was not in the ball game. They had to wait for him to get on the field. Finally, he does come in. His name is Mike Pigza.
Fiegels, the punter, is the holder. He's also a trick shot artist. He's liable to run with it. 56 yards. Greg Cox, a senior place kicker from Fort Lauderdale, gives the Hurricanes the lead.
Boy, did he nail that
one. Woo! Hey, Baldwin, how you doing? Hey, pretty good. Joey, how are you? There you go. Hey, guys.
Job of getting it down. 2. This ball is 3/4 of the way up the uprights. The longest field goal in Orange Bowl history, 56 yards. Watch how high this ball is up on the uprights. This is a monster. They can move him back 15 yards, and he still makes this one. Look.
That is amazing.
Whoa.
Longest field goal in Orange Bowl history, a 56-yarder. And so Greg Cox breaks the deadlock, and it's now a 10-7 game Miami. again succeeds on the opening drive of the third quarter, as they've done so many times before this season. To 7, Miami, and now Edgar Bennis is ready to kick it off. Coach Switzer deep in thought. Decibel level gets as loud here when the Hurricanes are playing to a sold-out building as any place in college football. Very difficult to call signals if you're the visiting team. Stafford will down the ball, and the Sooners will again start from their 20-yard line.
Sooners are also in territory that they've never been in this season. They've never trailed this late in any game in 1987. Of course, this is 1988.
Be assured this Oklahoma offense can go bang in the distance in one play. A year ago against Arkansas in the Orange Bowl, Arkansas held Oklahoma without a first down for a good part of the first half. First time Oklahoma got a first down, it was a 70-yard touchdown run. So far, the bone has not broken a big play, though, and this time they get virtually nothing at all. As Derwin Jones, a 275-pound defensive tackle, makes the hit on Patrick Collins. Later in tonight's game, we'll be selecting the outstanding player from each team. Budweiser will donate a total of $2,000 to the school's general scholarship funds.
Watch Derwin Jones fight off the block of the center. Latham right there to make the tackle. Oklahoma's being beaten at the line of scrimmage. No other way to look at it.
Patrick Collins ran for 131 yards against Nebraska on 13 carries. He has only 31 yards tonight. Now on 2nd and 10, the Sooners are again thrown back by an inspired Miami defense led by the Tiger Man, Bernard Clark.
Again, Oklahoma faced with a third down and at least 10 situation.
Barry Switzer in his 15th year as coach of the Sooners with a phenomenal record.
Let me change it now. Third down and 8. This is not the position that the wishbone functions very well. These are drive blockers. They're not pass protectors.
Number 1 trailing number 2 by 3 at the moment as Thompson breaks free on a third down play, dives ahead, and he'll be just short of a first down. He was knocked down by the very quick outside backer, Randy Shannon, number 22. Blades also came up on the play, as did Colbert Bain.
Again, Oklahoma does not want to throw the football. You see the blitz by Miami. Roberts from the outside. Rod Carter from the outside. Thompson almost picks up the first down, but another punt for Oklahoma.
Todd Thompson, the Sooner punter. Brett Perriman is back deep now for Miami, positioned at his 38-yard line. Third quarter moving along quickly. 6:51 to play and the clock running. Well hit ball. A high, wobbly spiral downfield forces Perriman into a fair catch at his 36. But the Hurricanes, after that 35-yard punt, will take this next possession in relatively good field position. This is Don Criqui with Bob Trumpy and Tom Hammond at the 1988 Orange Bowl, Miami, Florida. The national championship on the line. You know the scenario. The Hurricanes and the Sooners each going through an 11-game regular season unbeaten and untied, and came into this game rated number 1 and 2 in America. The last 3 times number 1 and 2 has played in college football, number 2 has won, and number 2 with the ball is leading right now 10-7. Handoff up the middle. Warren Williams runs hard and gets ahead to about the 39-yard line. Let's go down to Tom.
We're with Jim Kelly of the Buffalo Bills, the first in a long string of All-American quarterbacks at Miami. What about this Steve Walsh, the sophomore? He's having a fine game.
Sure is. He's doing a real good job. And talked to him before the game. I said, just go out there and have fun. That's exactly what he's doing. He's stepping up to the pocket when he needed to and completed some good passes.
It looks like that he may be another in that string of All-American quarterbacks, so this pro offense gets you ready for the big time.
It sure does. Some good coaching, Gary Stevens and Jimmy Johnson. But tell you what, down here's where you want to play football. Nice weather.
Jim Kelly, let's go back upstairs.
Letting it go, and it is taken down by Brian Blades somehow inside the 35-yard line. But they rule he did not have a foot in bounds when he caught the ball, so it goes as a long out, an incomplete pass.
The other thing I got to like about Walsh, he's a lot like Jim Kelly in that he's absolutely fearless. It's a good play-action fake, holds the linebackers, and this, once again, even though an incompletion, very, very close. I think it's a good call, too, when that when he finally had control of the football. Watch his next. When does he have? Yeah, his foot is out of bounds when he finally has control. Left foot. 3rd and 6, Miami.
6:01 to go, third quarter. Hurricanes with the ball on a 10-7 lead. Here comes a blitz, but they go to the run, and Williams looking for room to go. Finds a moment's notice and finally breaks ahead and gets a first down.
Championship games, Don, come down to effort. And to this point, Miami's made the effort. Bratton helps on the block. He's got Troy Johnson there. Now watch the second and third effort by Williams. He's hit by a host of Oklahoma players, the #1 defense in the country, and still picks up the first down.
Warren Williams, the undersung Miami Hurricane, a 5th-year senior from Fort Myers who averaged 5 yards a carry. Hits a very big running play for the Hurricanes, and they have it 1st and 10. And again, they go to Williams, but this time he is struck down by linebacker Kurt Casper.
Kurt Casper, number 46.
A junior from Houston shot the gap. The quarterback tradition at the University of Miami, George Myra, back in the early 60s, went on to the 49ers. Jim Kelly really kind of resurrected the program here. It was in trouble. Kosar, quarterback the only national championship team of the Hurricanes when he was, I think, 19 years old.
Those last 3 quarterbacks on that list open their own bank. And it'd be a big one.
Kosar was a redshirt freshman when he did it 4 years ago. 2nd down and 12 as Walsh steps in and gets time and drills a strike to Melvin Bratton inside the 40. And Bratton is down to the 35-yard line. 21-yard gain from.
This time inside coverage by Scott Garl. Bratton, the crossing patterns tonight for Miami have worked all night long. Irvin's caught about 2 or 3. McMitchell again, he makes the tackle, but they're running in the middle of that zone defense. Walsh has got the time, and he is making good on those strikes.
Old Melvin's hauling that pig in tonight. It's caught 7 for 81 yards and a touchdown. Warren Williams is stuck at the line. Leonard Conley looks like came in. It's Williams. He's back, and he takes it straight ahead and is knocked back by Kurt Casper. And now a heavy rain is falling. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, it's a downpour in Miami.
Doesn't seem to discourage the Hurricanes from throwing the football, does it? They are still very comfortable. They practice in this stuff.
I don't think Charles Thompson's delighted about all this.
On to Yo, the Sioux saying that says clear the way for Charles Thompson.
Down the field to throw, and it's incomplete at the 25-yard line. They went back to the tight end who was banged up, you'll remember earlier, Alfredo Roberts. So it was a peaceful night in Miami. Stepped down the field, and now Hurricane might be starting to blow. At least heavy rain is coming in.
David Vickers that time on the tackle. Again, Miami going with that crossing pattern. They found the soft spot in this Oklahoma defense, and that's the middle of the zone. As long as Walsh has got time to set up, look around, he's doing an excellent job.
Walsh has not had a lot of success from throwing in the rain this year when he's had to play in it. Most quarterbacks don't. Miami 6 of 10 on 3rd downs. This is 3rd and 10, and the play is whistled dead. Penalty marker down at the line of scrimmage, stopping the clock with 3:44 to go in the 3rd quarter. Legal procedure against the Hurricanes, so that'll make it 3rd down and 15.
Well, we know one thing. They're in Greg Cox's range.
Good ball. Ball stop.
Fans know how to handle rain here in
5-yard
Miami.
penalty.
Dolphins fans comes out of nowhere.
There's Greg Cox, and if he hits the field goal attempt comes up here already with an Orange Bowl record 56-yarder.
He hits another one in the rain. I'm going to give him something. 3rd down, 15. Walsh stands in. They take care of him, and out pattern, and there is the connection to Brian Blades inside the 30-yard line down to the 28. Turning out on cornerback Lonnie Finch. Brian Blades, the older brother of All-American safety Benny Blades, makes the reception for long yardage. Not quite enough for a first down.
Again, The zone defense of Oklahoma, you see everyone dropping off. Walsh has got time. Blades runs a good pattern. It's not enough for a first down.
Blades has caught 2 tonight for 26 yards.
Now, what's going on here? It's 4th down, and they've got their offense on the field. They're going for it. 4th down and 4. What is this?
They think they can throw the ball against the Sooner defense, which is #1 against the pass. And here is a throw and a catch by Melvin Bratton. Melvin Bratton goes up and comes down with a ball that gives the Hurricanes a first down.
Lonnie Finch on the coverage. Jimmy Johnson going for his first national championship. This is a gutty call by Jimmy Johnson. His ball club, 32-game regular season win streak, 0-3 in postseason play. That's Bratton's 8th catch of the day.
Now it's 1st and 10 for the Hurricanes. Play fake to Bratton. Walsh guns it over the middle. It's incomplete at the 3-yard line, and the closest players to the ball were the Sooner defenders. Ricky Dixon, the All-American safety, who has the only turnover of this night. He intercepted, you remember, Steve Walsh in the 2nd quarter, and then he turned that around and went for a touchdown in 13 plays.
Don, if Ricky Dixon looks up, he makes the interception. It is right there in front of him. He's watching the receiver. The receiver did not look back. Dixon didn't look up, and it goes as an incompletion.
12th play of the drive coming up. Rain letting up somewhat, but it's still falling. Natural grass field, a tightly knit field, excellent playing surface. Walsh on 2nd and 10 goes to the draw, and Melvin Bratton takes it straight ahead, but not for very much. Did well to get to the line of scrimmage. Officials are constantly talking to the players on both sides because of all the pregame buildup and the history Miami has of doing a lot of talking. You can't intimidate Oklahoma. Concern of the Sooner coaches was that they'd retaliate and get 15 yards. Coach Johnson with a 10-7 lead. We're at the 1988 Orange Bowl in Miami, Florida. 2:56 to play in the 3rd quarter. The clock is running it. The Hurricanes rated #2, leading 10-7. The top-ranked Sooners trying to get the ball back. Walsh again is well taken care of. Lofting the ball. Irvin is open. Touchdown, Miami. Hits the extra point. And Miami now extends its lead to 17-7.
They had the triple formation again. Oklahoma came with a blitz. Dixon is the closest man, 29. See the trips? Williams inside, Irvin outside. Just a corner pattern run by Mike Irvin. Again, Walsh absolutely on the money.
That's at Miami, Florida, where at the moment the underdog Hurricanes are leading the top-rated Sooners 17-7.
Irvin on the sideline being congratulated. You know, he kept the football. He threw it up in the air, then went back and got it.
I sure would. 4 catches for Irvin for 57 yards and a touchdown. Walsh has now built up these numbers: 15 for 26, 179 yards and 2 touchdowns. He was intercepted once. The Sooners, who don't like to pass, they say that's for the pregame warm-ups, might have to start putting the ball downfield now. Anthony Stafford out to the 25 or 6-yard line. The rain has stopped. Again, it's a balmy, mild South Florida night. Total yards in this half, Miami has 90, the Sooners just 17.
We got a penalty here. Here's Oklahoma. Offsides, kicking team. I'd make him kick it again. There's Steve Walsh on the sideline. This is the 23rd play. That touchdown reception by Michael Irvin of the third quarter. Oklahoma has only run 6. And because of that, Oklahoma trails by 10.
Michael Irvin, the all-time leading receiver at the University of Miami, surpassing the record set by Eddie Brown, makes his 27th career touchdown catch. And now the Sooners have to fight back, probably throwing. There's the man, Michael Irvin, who just put it in the end zone on the throw from Walsh, who, as you were saying, Trump, has been extraordinary.
Absolutely phenomenal tonight. Accuracy. He's not made the mistakes. Those numbers in 86, Vinny Testaverde's.
Now the Sooners down by 10 late in the third quarter. 2:31 to play in it. Go to the pitch back run. Free ball, and it looks like Collins got it back.
Now you see the way Oklahoma gets back in ball games with big plays is the pitch. But unfortunately, because of the lack of rushing yards up through the middle, that's what they've been going with all night. Miami's prepared for this. This pitch is behind Collins. He's lucky to recover it. Now trailing 17-7. A loss of 5 yards.
The Sooners have won the national championship 3 times in Barry Switzer's previous seasons. Right now, though, they're against it as they pitch back, beautifully done as Thompson throws it back to Stafford. And he gets ahead on a 2nd down and 14 play out to about the 20. Let's see where they'll spot the ball as the knock out of bounds was made by Randy Shannon.
Not interesting, too. Oklahoma running into the short side of the field. That's how dominating this Miami defense has been against the Oklahoma Sooners.
Keith Jackson, the All-American tight end for Oklahoma, has not caught a pass tonight. Coach Switzer's playing hurt also. He has a knee that could need surgery after the season. Thompson stands in. Go fast. 3rd and 10. He's not going to be close as he gets out to the 32-yard line. There is a penalty marker, though, and if it's a late hit, that'll keep the drive alive.
It's Danny Stubbs, Don. In the first half, Darrell Fullington had a late hit on Charles Thompson. Now Stubbs keeps the drive alive. The last one resulted in a real talking to by Jimmy Johnson when it came to Fullington. Watch the spear, the late hit. Head into Thompson. Cost him 15 yards.
That's the first down this quarter for Oklahoma. We have 1:29 to play in the third quarter. Don Criqui with Bob Trumpy at the 1988 Orange Bowl where Stubbs.
No, now Hubbs.
He lost the S.
Lost the ST.
You don't mind holding hands in the huddle. You just don't want him doing it coming out of the locker room. Patrick Collins breaks it down to the 40-yard line of Miami.
This is the counter, Don. Selwyn Brown on the tackle.
13-yard run.
Watch the counter. Everything goes right. Collins comes back to the left. Both the left tackle and the left guard full. I believe that's the longest run by a running back tonight by Oklahoma. Thompson had a long one. But 13 yards is the longest run by a running back.
Sooners with the drive alive on the personal foul call, and here is the handoff, and this time it's Thompson keeping it. I had the fullback, so did part of the defense, but Thompson takes it down to the 37-yard line on a first down carry. Selwyn Brown, number 32, on the tackle for the Hurricanes.
Stubbs bites on this, goes inside. He's the contained man, but for someone who is 6'5" and 250, excellent foot speed. Back out there to assist on the tackle. A pickup of about 3.
Chicanery and sleight of hand very much a part of the Oklahoma offense. Main man, the engine in the offense, Thompson rolling out, but he's going to go nowhere as Hawkins at offensive end powers him and unceremoniously slams him to the turf.
Now Hawkins, everybody's celebrating. Again, A superb game plan defensively by the Miami Hurricanes. Stringing it out at the line of scrimmage, shutting down the fullback, and they're 1 quarter away from their national championship. Jimmy Johnson's first.
At the end of the 3rd quarter, Miami 17, Oklahoma. Miami, Florida, City of Light. New Year's Day night, 1988, in the hometown Hurricanes. At the moment, in command of the Sooners, 17-7. As we're set now to start the 4th quarter. Don Criqui with Bob Trumpy. That penalty on All-American end, the defensive end, Danny Stubbs, could turn out to be big. It kept the drive alive.
Again, although Oklahoma again faces a 3rd down and 10 situation, something that they've not particularly done very well. But Don, I think in a game of this magnitude, into the 4th quarter, it's almost a 2-down situation for Oklahoma. They've not done well, but I mean, they got to keep this drive alive, so go for it if they don't make it on 3rd down.
Throwing a catch. Thompson hits his All-American tight end.
Fumble.
And then after he gets the ball, Keith Jackson loses it. And the Hurricanes have it. A superior passing play by Oklahoma turns into disappointment as Jackson is free to the football. Randy Shannon came up with it. We'll watch the hit.
After this ball is caught, Jackson is fighting for extra yardage. Shannon just happens to be an interested bystander. The ball bounces away from Jackson right into Shannon's hands. Strangely, the first turnover of the night for the Oklahoma Sooners.
We talked about Thompson being a baseball draftee of the Cincinnati Reds. You see, he's got the big league arm. He's an infielder, second baseman. Here is a handoff now. Bratton trying to go wide. Penalty markers are down as Bratton goes out of bounds at the 23. Looks Trump like the call could go against Miami.
We got holding against Miami. Again, this is the fumble.
What's up?
This is from the other side of the field. He makes a nice catch, but then 32 Selwyn Brown hits him, and that ball is loose, and Shannon there to make the recovery.
Put his hat right on the pig. And out it came, and so with 14:47 to play in the ball game, here's the call.
Holding during the run.
Holding
10-yard penalty. Receive the down.
Darrell Reed, one of the defensive ends, was the man who was held on the play. He was blitzing the QB, and so now they send it back. Ball will be positioned inside the 15-yard line. It'll be at the 13.
Now Miami has to play smart football for the final 14:47 of this football game. You can't be making the dumb plays like holding. That time Troy Johnson was about to make the tackle, and Scott Probin, 76, the offensive tackle, just reached out and grabbed it. For the rest of this quarter, Miami must play smart. They'll be national champions.
The Sooners aren't done yet, though, and now on the rollout. Walsh fires the ball to Melvin Bratton on a 1st and 20 play, and he's ahead to the 29-yard line. A gain of about 16 yards on the play. Knockdown made by the All-American free safety of the Sooners, Ricky Dixon. Player down, Melvin Bratton.
He's been busy tonight. He's holding his leg, being attended to by the trainers.
So while Melvin's attended to, we'll pause for this word. On the sidelines, number 88, Keith Jackson, had that fine catch and then lost it, and he was hit hard by Selwyn Brown. Now Miami has the ball with 2nd down and 5 coming up, and this is a most disappointing development. A tremendous player being helped off with the knee injury, Melvin Bratton.
Watch his left leg. When he plants, Troy Johnson kind of grabs him, and anytime your weight gets outside your leg, you can expect an injury. We hope it's not severe. Bratton has been a big offensive threat to now. That last catch is 9th for 102 yards and 1 touchdown.
He's a senior who projects to be a 1st or 2nd round draft choice in the NFL, Melvin Bratton. 9 catches for 99 yards for Bratton tonight. Cleveland Gary's in now as they go to the run, and Warren Williams runs the ball on 2nd and 5 and doesn't get a thing, as defensive tackle Curtis Williams made the stop for Oklahoma.
Miami can now be very deliberate between each play. No reason for Walsh to go up there until that 25-second clock gets down to 4 or 5 ticks. No hurry whatsoever.
Walsh, a 6'3", 195-pounder from St. Paul, Minnesota. A redshirt sophomore. He's actually in his 3rd year academically. 20 years old. 20 touchdowns for the season, including, he's actually 21 now with the 2 tonight. 1 to Bratton, 1 to Irvin. And only 8 interceptions. Cleveland Gary breaks into open field. He has a first down and more. Another of the big backs. Cleveland Gary, a 225-pound fullback from Indiantown, Florida, runs for 11. It's first down, Miami.
Darrell Reed on the tackle. You can see the skill position athletes that Miami possesses. They catch him in a blitz, and all Walsh has to do is get the ball to Gary, and it's up to the guys to chase him to get him finally get him down. 11-yard pickup. Bratton goes out. His replacement on the first carry, 11 yards. Not bad.
Miami on third down, Trump, has been magnificent.
7 of 12.
Against the #1 defense in the country. Sooners hunting the ball, looking to get it back. Again, it's Williams with the run, and not much there on a 1st and 10 play. He got ahead to about the 43-yard line where Darrell Reed got him. 3 All-Americans in the Oklahoma defense. Darrell Reed, Dante Jones, and Ricky Dixon. Just about everybody's all Big 8 or first or second team.
I was noticing Jimmy Johnson on the sideline. He has not stopped pacing. He is going up and down. Well, he finally stopped there. During that play, he's yelling, screaming. He's jumping up and down. He's walking back and forth.
It's been tough for Jimmy Johnson. He came in after Howard Snellenberger and said if he knew the pressure he'd be under from the press, he probably wouldn't have come. Here's a throw and a catch by Cleveland Gary. On a 2nd and 7 play, almost 8, it's good for about a 6-yard gain. They'll be short of a first down by a yard.
Again, finding that running back underneath the coverage. That's Mel Bratton's spot. Gary goes in, makes a nice diving catch of the pass. Walsh again right on the money, Don. It has been impressive. I mean, this is a game for a national championship. This kid had not really played much when Testaverde was here last year. Won the starting job in the spring. The relative newcomer played this season and tonight like he's been there for years.
Won the job in the summer by just making fewer mistakes. They still haven't sacked him. His receivers fell down. Michael Irvin or Cleveland Gary coming out of the backfield. Lost his footing on what's wet turf right now. You remember that rain. It was heavy for a very brief time earlier. Let's go back down to Tom.
Don Melvin Bratton has a sprained left knee. He's down on the bench behind me now. They're going to ice it for about 10 minutes and then take another look at it. But the word is now sprained left knee, and his status for the remainder of the game still uncertain.
Don, watch out here on this punt. Conley is the up man, and he's run the ball before. He's right in front of Fiegels. They've run this play before. No, he's going to punt it.
Well hit ball by Fiegels. Coming down is Derek White, who fair catches it at the 17-yard line of the Sooners with 11:46 to play. 33-yard punt, and as you see, no return. Oklahoma ready to go, and we Orange Bowl. 11:46 to play at this famed ball yard, the Orange Bowl in Miami, Florida. Numbers 1 and 2 as we look down from the Goodyear blimp, and that's how it looks in the Goodyear blimp.
Hello, gentlemen.
First down for the Sooners. Patrick Collins turns upfield and gets the ball out across the 20, out to about the 24. Whoa. Took a shot to the right eye.
I think he'll wear that proudly.
I think so.
And hope it lasts for months if the score remains the same.
7-yard gain on the play. 2nd and 3 to 24.
Right now, the redshirt freshman quarterback of the Sooners working as Melvin Bratton goes off the field to a standing ovation. A sprained knee, as Tom Hammond reported. Turning upfield and not getting very much as Charles Thompson, as defensive end Bill Hawkins, rode him down, and the clock winds down to 11 minutes to play in the game. The Sooners so badly need a big play.
In very few instances this evening has this wishbone been able to turn up. Miami has kept the pursuit along the line of scrimmage. Not a particularly big defense, but a good reading defense. They get off those blocks of that huge offensive line and just spring along the line of scrimmage. Thompson has no place to run.
Oklahoma has not trailed in the fourth quarter this season. They're down by 10 now as Stafford, a very fast Sooner, is knocked down just short of the first down. And now a most important decision for Coach Switzer and the Sooners. Do you go for it on fourth down in your own end of the field?
He didn't in the first half. Jimmy Johnson did for the last score. I think you got to go. Barry Switzer is someone, even though I think he said today to someone in the press that he's going to punt the ball away.
If he doesn't get there, that could be it, because this field goal kicker is going to give him a 3 for sure if Miami gets it back in this end.
Look at it. This is 4th down and less than a yard. Is Barry Switzer showing respect for this defense or not?
Right now he's playing percentage football, looking at the time. A high snap. Thompson hits the ball again very well downfield, and Perriman has to let it roll. It'll take a Sooner hop as it comes down to about the 25-yard line of Miami.
Yeah, but Don, consider this. This is the #1 rushing team in college football, has been for the last 3 years, and they don't go for it on 4th and less than a yard, trailing 17-7.
And 18 to play in the game, and the top-ranked Sooners trail Miami by 10 points. Oklahoma #1 in America in offense, but certainly not in the passing game. They don't grade out Trump, as you know, in the top 100 teams, but now they've got to throw.
I like Jimmy Johnson's choice. Back in the first half when he went for it on 4th down, that'll be the play that if Miami wins the national championship, they'll talk about for years down here. Jimmy Johnson went for it on 4th down and 4 and made it, and it won him the national championship, his first.
Sooners can't move the ball now as it's 1st and 10 for Miami, and up the middle of the field goes Warren Williams, and he finds his way for a gain of 6 yards out to the 33-yard line. North-south runner, he heads right at the defense. Rarely tries to go wide.
Let me correct myself. I just said there in the on-camera that Jimmy Johnson's choice to go on 4th down was in the first half. It was in the second half, at 3rd quarter. That could have been the play of the game.
We're in the 4th quarter on NBC Sports. 9 minutes and 45 seconds to play. 2nd down and about 2. Williams again. Sooners get him. Knocking down to the 33. No gain on the play. It'll be 3rd down and 2. Troy Johnson, another all-Big 8 player at right end, came up and made the play. Number 80.
3rd down and 2 has really been no problem for the Miami Hurricanes all evening long.
Sooners averaging 500 yards a game offense this season, under 200 tonight. 179 is all they have against the Miami defense.
And this is no fluke. Oklahoma's turned the ball over once, only once.
Miami with 1 turnover in the game. Cleveland Gary fighting hard, and he gets where he has to go as he's out to the 38-yard line. Leading the blocking was the tight end, Bob Chudzinski. So Cleveland Gary gets the Hurricanes a 1st down with 8:55 to play.
And I didn't think this was possible, but it appears to me that Miami is wearing this defense out. You see a lot of Oklahoma Sooners standing there, hands on hips, gasping for breath. You know, they're wondering, what are these guys doing here? Who are these guys? They're not supposed to do that to us. We're the #1 rushing defense in the entire country. Not giving them much respect.
Oklahoma, as the Big 8 team, is the home team. Theoretically, they're the home team, but in truth, Miami is, and that's where the support from the stands is coming. There's 8 minutes and 25 seconds showing the clock, and Warren Williams runs again. Tony Woods knocked him down.
This time, it looks like there's a missed assignment on the offensive line because Tony Woods is totally untouched. Makes the tackle for lost yardage on Williams. That hasn't happened very often tonight.
Clock inside, 8 minutes to play now. 17-7. Miami leads Oklahoma. Warren Williams runs the ball and gets it to the 36-yard line. Jones and Adrian Cooper were on the stop for the Sooners.
Also in on the stop, Curtis Williams.
One thing I didn't think would happen in this football game, that Miami would run more plays than Oklahoma. I think when this ball game is over and you count offensive plays run by Miami and offensive plays run by Oklahoma, it's going to shock us. Miami has dominated this second half.
Doubt setting in on the Sooner sideline as time is becoming a factor now. The Hurricanes, the only team to beat the Oklahoma Sooners over the last 3 seasons. They've done it twice, working on a third as the throw is to Brett Perriman. And straight ahead throw, he's out to about the 44-yard line. Fourth down arises, though, and the Sooners will get it back as Fiegels is out to punt.
Now, Oklahoma's going to try to block the punt, something, anything, to get better field position than they've had all evening long for a short drive here. Again, we've got Leonard Conley up as the up back. He's run from punt formation before. I don't think Jimmy Johnson would chance it here.
Low snap, but Fiegels hits another towering punt. Derek White runs it back. As standout special teams play, sweeps in under. He could not get wide and find the lane of blockers. A 47-yard punt and just a 2-yard return. So Oklahoma again with the longest pass. The Orange Bowl on New Year's Day night has been the final bowl game of the season. Not this year. The Hall of Fame Bowl will be played tomorrow between two longtime powers in college football, the Wolverines of Michigan and the Crimson Tide of Alabama. Bob Costas, Ahmad Rashad, and Paul McGuire will be on the air with that at 1 o'clock. And then from famed Pauley Pavilion at UCLA, Dick Enberg and Coach Al McGuire ready to bring you a basketball showdown between the Tar Heels of North Carolina and the Bruins of UCLA. 6:26 to play. Thompson stands in and he's in deep trouble. Knocked down hard by Jimmy Jones inside the 5-yard line. We pointed out 4 of the last 5 times, 3 times in a row, when numbers 1 and 2 met in college football. Number 2 has won. Last regular season, Oklahoma was number 2 and they beat Nebraska, then number 1, 17-7 at Lincoln in November. January 2nd of last year, number 2 Penn State upset Miami at the Fiesta Bowl for the national championship. 1986 season, Miami beat then number 1 ranked Oklahoma in the regular season.
Almost picked off.
Throwing very nearly a connection to Tolbert Bain, a cornerback who almost picked it up for Miami.
On to this point, show you the dominance of the Miami defense. Oklahoma, which averages better than 400 yards of offense per game, something like 186 yards of offense tonight. Now in a position, 3rd down and 15, in the shadow of their own goalpost where they have to throw it, trailing 17-7. Look at that. Look at that difference. You think this Miami defense won't get game balls?
The proud tradition of Oklahoma football, a school that's produced 6 national champions since 1950. Under the gun now, and another receiver separated from the ball. Blades makes the play. Keith Jackson could not hold on, and again the Sooners have to punt it, this time from their end zone with 5:37 to play. This will be a tough punt also, as he'll be working with less than the required 15 yards, or the requested 15 yards. That's what they usually take back on the snap.
Need a good snap here. If his foot hits that back line, it's 2 points.
Good snap, big rush. He gets it away and hits the ball end over end downfield to Brett Perriman at the 40-yard line of Oklahoma. And Perriman takes it right at the Sooners to the 32-yard line.
Don, it appeared to me that Bernard Clark, 57, could have blocked that punt. Pulled up. They were trying for a return there.
Cleveland Gary doesn't get much as Sooner linebackers wrestle him down. But again, Miami continues to run the clock, and now the official stops it. Oklahoma has called a timeout. Jimmy Johnson coached against Oklahoma and Barry Switzer during his 5 years at Oklahoma State. One year when he got beat 63-14, he looked at the scoreboard. He said it was like a cash register, the numbers changing. Said at the luncheon the other day, you know, he said, when I get down to Miami, I think I'm going to score like that.
Well, in a lot of instances, he has. And in Jimmy Johnson's case, as we said at the top of the show, he's been kind of labeling himself as the other guy. And now with what appears to be his first national championship, he'll be one of the big ones.
Saw the scoring when Bratton first, then Stafford in the second quarter to tie the game, and that's how it stood at halftime. And then the spectacular Orange Bowl record 56-yard field goal by Greg Cox broke the tie, and the Sooners have moved, or the Hurricanes have moved on for there. Irvin with a 23-yard touchdown reception from Steve Walsh That's how it stands now. Miami 17, Oklahoma 7.
Greg Cox is in to try another field goal, it appears.
Easy money. This is only a 48-yarder. Kicking into the win this time, though.
Makes no difference.
No problem. 48-yarder and a 56-yarder. And the national championship might as well be in the books. With 3:41 to play, the Hurricanes have command 20-7.
Don, unfortunately, nowadays in collegiate athletics, until you win a national championship, you are a suspect as a coach. But Jimmy Johnson winning this national championship with just 2 offensive linemen playing their normal spots. Your starting linebacker, the leading tackler in the all-time history of the University of Miami. At some point, someone must give credit to Jimmy Johnson and his coaching staff for the job they've done. They were within 5 yards and an interception last year in the Fiesta Bowl of winning 2 straight national championships. I mean, the Heisman Trophy winner throws 5 interceptions. They won every phase of the football game against Penn State, tripled the yardage, shut down Penn State to 156 yards, still lost. This team could have had back-to-back national championships, and Jimmy Johnson deserves the credit.
He does indeed. Apparently, Trump, Miami only wins bowl games when they're for the national championship. They've not won a bowl game since the game 4 years ago when they beat Nebraska in that thriller here at the Orange Bowl, January 1 of 1984, 31-30.
Now their winning streak in the Orange Bowl will go to 18 straight games, and they have totally dominated the Oklahoma Sooners. There is no other way to characterize this football game. Oklahoma won no phase of this game.
How about a program where an 11-1 season's a disappointment? That's how good Oklahoma's been. Edgar Dennis hits a high spinning kick downfield in the Festus Sooner. Anthony Stafford runs it back, 10 and 15. Breaking it, trying to go to the outside. He loses his footing at about the 22-yard line.
This is how tough it's been for Oklahoma, a team that has unbelievably dominated opponents throughout the 1987 season. That was the first half, and the second half, 0-0.
Coach Switzer has a fabulously talented team coming back next season. They're always good. Throw and too much on it as he tried to gun the ball. Quarterback Thompson to wide receiver Carl Cabanis. We mentioned earlier the press has been bringing up with Jimmy Johnson late in the season, particularly in preparation for this game, whether or not he'll stay. There's been a lot of speculation he's going to get offers from the National Football League, or maybe he has.
Thompson tonight, 2 of 7 for 29 yards. It's not been his fault. The credit must go to the Miami defense. Shut down the running game and made Oklahoma throw.
Thompson, long ball, not close. The only man near it was the strong safety Darrell Fullington, and he couldn't hold it. Let's go to Tom Hammond.
John, right here, the bucket of Gatorade is being readied on the sideline for Miami.
Don't let him get
Andrew
you.
Brown is the man. Brown is the man who's going to put it on. He's the man who's going to put it on Jimmy Johnson. How many seconds left when you're going to do it?
5 seconds left in the game.
5 left in the game. Be ready for it.
Boy, that's a bad tradition passed around in college football and professional football.
Anybody dumps one on Parcells this year is liable to get a fist in the mouth.
I don't think Jimmy Johnson would mind. No matter what they do to him, he's going to be happy about it.
Thompson throwing on the run and very nearly the reception by Patrick Collins, but he could not hold on off his knees. So the game clock is stopped with 3:18 to play, and 4th down and 10 comes up, and the Sooners have to fire it again. A pass offense that, as we mentioned, is not great out in the top 100 in the country. Number 1 in overall offense, number 1 in rushing offense, number 1 in scoring. But the pass, as they say in Norman, Oklahoma, is something you do in pregame warm-ups.
Oklahoma, in 3 minutes and 18 seconds over the last 3 seasons, will be 33-3. And those belong to the Miami Hurricanes.
Thompson steps in, lets her rip, and he makes the connection to Patrick Collins, who's out across the 40 and out to the 42-yard line for a Sooner first down. 21-yard gain, and so the Sooners desperately go into alignment without a huddle. You see the timeout situation, each team with 2 remaining. Jackson gets it. He's ahead for a gain of about 9 yards. Bernard Clark was covering the tight end and made the knockdown out of zone coverage.
Randy Shannon
also.
Oklahoma really doesn't run pass patterns. The guy just goes up between 2 linebackers and the quarterback hits him.
8-yard gain, second and 2 at the 49.
Free ball, incomplete pass. It'll be third down and about 2. He was looking at 5'7" Anthony Stafford. Bernard Clark got a hand on the ball.
Bernard Clark was on the tackle. He was the late star of this football team.
Not only said he was going to have a good game, but backed it all up when the word came that leading tackler George Myra Jr. could not play because of the suspension. Bernard Clark said they're not going to miss a thing when I get in there, and they have not.
He's called all the defenses tonight for Miami. That's a very sophisticated defense. Look at that. You know what's ironic? We'll run this play and I'll tell you.
Pitch back. Collins looking to throw it. Gets it down to Jackson. And Keith Jackson with the first down is inside the 30-yard line of Miami. Down to the 29, and the Sooners quickly call a timeout with 2:28 to play.
22-yard pickup. But I think it's going to be too little too late. The irony of the way Bernard Clark has played. Last year, of course, you remember Brian Bosworth. He was ruled out because of a failed drug test. His replacement, Dante Jones, was the defensive most valuable player of the Orange Bowl. I'll pick Clark for that role this year. I'll give him that honor right now.
Good choice. National championship game as we have a fumble play, and we have the offensive lineman Mark Hudson scoring a touchdown. So it's not over yet. 2:05 to play. Shades of Nebraska a few years ago here at the Orange Bowl when the Outland Trophy winner Dean Steinkühler picked up a touchdown. Quarterback takes the snap and drops it on the field. He has to fumble it.
Watch the left guard. When that ball is on the ground, it's underneath the center. Nobody knows where it is. Hudson even makes a move.
Not us, not the cameras, not 76,000 people at the Orange Bowl, but we see the big guy in the payoff end. Now here, watch it again from a different angle.
Now watch, he takes it from underneath the center. Now watch the move. Well, we'll show you. He's got a move at the end of the run.
Extra point, a knuckleball is drilled up and good. 2:05 to play, and the Sooners are back to within 6.
Now watch Hudson when he gets down the field here. He even makes a nice little move there. That's only 285 pounds running down there. 29-yard touchdown run. Oklahoma's got to come with an onside kick, try to come up with a recovery here with 2:05 to go.
I've seen that 3 times, and I still can't sort it out.
Has it scored all 3 times? So
well, I've seen 3 replays, and it's still a mystery how.
I've only seen that play run twice in college football. Both times have been in the Orange Bowl.
The Fumblerooski, they call it at Nebraska, and obviously the arch rivals of the Huskers. Oklahoma now has it in their bag of tricks.
Oh, now Jimmy Johnson's over there exhorting his team on the sideline. This game is not over. We may have celebrated a little too quickly. We got to get our heads back in this ball game. There's 2 minutes and 5 seconds left. Both teams have 2 timeouts left. Now watch the center. The center takes the ball, and the quarterback, the ball just doesn't go to the quarterback's hands. He just lets it fall right down on the ground. There's
Mark Hudson from that 29-yard trip. He's about ready for the inhalator.
Absolutely. I don't blame him.
Long way to go when you're 290. So now we have Oklahoma team seemingly out of it, right back in it with 2:05 to play. Passing game, that's Dr. Frank Horton, the president of the Oklahoma, standing with Coach Switzer. He might be sending in the play.
You know, Barry Switzer standing off the sideline quite a bit there. It looks like they might be kicking it over to the Oklahoma side. He was backed off from the... Let's see which side they go. No, coming this way.
Onside, ball in the air, and the Hurricanes, with the good hands people up front, maintain possession and get the ball at their 47-yard line.
Some pushing and shoving going on. Leonard Conley, I believe, is the man who makes the recovery. Miami coaches out there, highway patrolmen out there, referees out there.
And a very important factor here, Trump, the scoreboard clock shows each team with 2 timeouts.
So Miami needs a couple of first downs.
2:02 to play. Walsh having an exceptional night. 18 completions, 30 throws for 209 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 to Bratton, 1 to Irvin. He's been intercepted once by Ricky Dixon of the Sooners. He's been sacked only 1 time. Here is a nice open field tackle.
Fumble.
Oklahoma says they have the ball. Now they're going to rule that the field caused the fumble. Tony Woods came up with the ball, but the carrier, Cleveland Gary, was ruled down.
Tony Woods on the recovery. Of course, there's no instant replay in college football from behind the offense. It's going to be difficult now for this Miami. Yeah, good call by the official. He's down on contact. He's down. Tony Woods makes the tackle. He looked untouched. He also makes the recovery. This is about the time you want to have your offense come to the sideline and the head coach talk to him and say, gentlemen, we've got to finish this football game.
Miami with 7 turnovers in last year's Fiesta Bowl, lost it. 1 turnover tonight, and Miami in the lead 20-14. It was seemingly history when they led 20-7 until the fumble Ruski. Sooners seem to be enjoying all this.
Yeah, that guy we saw in crutches was Mel Bratton. Came back out. Jimmy Light, there he is. Alfredo Roberts, 87, talking to him there on the sideline. Let's hope Miami didn't begin their celebration a little too quickly.
1 timeout left for the Oklahoma Sooners, 2 for the Miami Hurricanes with 1:51 to play in the game. Sooners came in and the local papers were favored by 2 or 2.5 points. Can't forget either that while we talk about the players that Miami's missing, Oklahoma lost one of the best wishbone quarterbacks in the history of the wishbone, Jamel Holloway, earlier this season. 2nd and 11. Not much of a gain, and the Sooners used their last time out. The fumble Ruski first became a household word a few years back here at the Orange Bowl, and here's how it ran.
Look who they're running it against. The Miami Hurricanes.
Drops the ball intentionally. Now you'll see it on the field. Dean Steinkuhler picks it up for the Cornhuskers of Nebraska. Steinkuhler now a standout with the Houston Oilers, who of course will be playing Seattle in the AFC wildcard game Sunday afternoon that you'll see here on NBC Sports. Marv Albert and Joe Namath will be at the Astrodome. Nobody poking fun at those Oilers anymore.
Yeah, but that fumble Ruski was not enough. As Miami, that's when Miami won their national championship. There are too many ironies in this game. Mark Hudson likes it.
I tell you.
His first score ever.
Yeah, Hudson.
1:44 left to play, and Oklahoma's still in it as we have 3rd down and 11 coming up. Hudson, who scored the touchdown for Oklahoma on the trick play, got into a near brawl with Danny Stubbs. They were having their picture taken up in Fort Lauderdale for the Bob Hope special, the All-American team special. Words were exchanged, and they had to be separated.
This is an awful long time out. If I'm Jimmy Johnson, this is obviously one of the biggest calls you'll have in your coaching career. With the ability of Michael Irvin to get open through the zone, I think I'd call a pass here. I don't think I'd take a chance and run it. You're going to have a lot of guys at the line of scrimmage. I think it's an easy completion if Walsh is well protected. Of course, Bratton's been his big receiver tonight. We saw him on the sideline in crutches. I'll throw it here.
I throw it. 3rd and 11. Michael Irvin's the big play guy. They go to when the heat's on. Length to the left.
Audible again.
Calling his own number as the quarterback. He didn't get close, but now...
Busted play.
With Oklahoma out of timeouts, the Hurricanes will huddle at their leisure and run the clock down as much as they can. The punter comes out. Fiegels in Oklahoma will get it back with about a minute to play.
Don, that was a busted play. That was not a rollout by Steve Walsh. That was a busted play. Called an audible. Somebody didn't get the message.
That's the game clock ticking down. Play clock's down to 11, so Fiegels waiting to get it all the way down and run as much game clock off as he can. Hits it end over end. Field goal won't do anything for the Sooners. They've got to get a touchdown, and they'll start from their 23-yard line with 56 seconds to play.
Well, this has been the best part of the Miami football team tonight. It's now in their hands. Hold Oklahoma for 56 seconds, and they have that national championship.
See if they have more wizardry left. If they have any more trick plays, I think we might see them. I know Hudson couldn't get this far if they go to him again. Penalty markers down as Thompson fires downfield. A well underthrown ball, not close, and the game clock, as you see, stopped at 52. Might be a procedure call against the Sooners.
Got it.
Steve Walsh. It might bring Miami its second national championship, as Bernie Kosar did 4 years ago when he was a redshirt freshman. Walsh, a redshirt sophomore, the Oklahoma Sooners #1 in America. They were running #2 to Nebraska until November 22nd. When they went to Lincoln, trailed at the half 7-0, but came back and dominated the game and beat the Cornhuskers 17-7. Oklahoma's been #1 since. Coach Johnson, he better take a couple days off. I mean, this has not been easy on the head man.
They just ran the clock down. They're resetting it. This penalty is going to be assessed before the snap of the ball, so the clock will go back to 56 seconds. And I'm sure that clock looks like a sundial.
Jimmy Johnson has been part of a national championship team. He was the captain of the Arkansas team that won the national title in 1964. But as a coach, he's come up short until tonight. Thompson in trouble, somehow gets away from it. In the open field, Charles Thompson gets out to the 22-yard line. And another marker is down as Bernard Clark makes the stop for Miami.
More importantly, that stops the clock. Whoever the penalty's on, a clip against Oklahoma. That's during the run. They're running those plays in, when in fact they should probably just go with the quarterback scramble and maybe their best shot.
Back to the 9-yard line with 47 seconds to play. Miami 20, Oklahoma 14. First down and 24 after the clipping call against the Sooners.
Whatever trick play they got here, it better be a dandy.
They got to run that hook and ladder, pitch it back. They can't do anything when you get sacked. Free ball, and Bernard Clark will be down at the 7-yard line. Can't advance the fumble, but I think Miami takes it over. They do, and this is history. The Hurricanes, an underdog, will win a national championship again, this time under Coach Jimmy Johnson. water Jimmy Johnson's ever experienced.
Finally a smile on his face, too.
Usually got that good haircut. The Hurricanes down the ball with 31 seconds to play. These guys aren't as experienced as the Giants in dumping it, but they're gaining on it. Hurricanes call a timeout. Johnson yelled out from the sideline to call a timeout just to make sure we're all on the right page. No mistakes down the stretch.
I think it was a delay of game against Miami. So the next snap, that's the last play they'll have to run. But they got him.
That will do it. It's in the books now as the Hurricanes will win at 20-14. The Sooners powerless to stop the clock, and nobody will congratulate Jimmy Johnson with more enthusiasm than his good friend Barry Switzer. The party has begun in Miami. It began last night, but now it really gets cooking. Look at Jimmy Johnson. The demons are gone. He's a national championship coach. Yes, just like we like it, says Jimmy.
I don't know if he's ever been baptized, but he'll not forget this one.
Going off like Caesar.
And Don, do you agree with me the most valuable player in this game for Miami? Bernard Clark.
Go with that. Man who stepped in to fill in for suspended George Myra Jr. We'll be getting to that. Guys will probably go out together tonight. They're that good friends. When Barry Switzer turned 50, Jimmy Johnson called him and told him he was playing the back nine now.
Now, I don't think there's any coach that Jimmy Johnson would prefer to beat as a friendly rival than his longtime friend, Barry Switzer. That adds a little something special on top of the national championship.